That's actually something I'd love to ask you is
Mhm.
I really have damaged myself with the lack of sleep.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
yeah, in the beginning, the first 2 years, I kid you not, I would be writing scripts. I'd be so sleep deprived that I would fall asleep. I would dream and hit REM sleep, and I would wake up
Yeah.
to find I had completed the sentence in my dream.
Vigorous Steve here with Vigorous Podcast. Today we have a collaboration from a galaxy far, far away, Darth Niatus from Star Wars Theory. Thanks so
What's
much
going
for
on?
coming on the show, man. I wanted to have you
Hey,
on
thanks for
because,
having me.
yeah, I wanted to have you on because you have two huge passions. You have Star Wars
Yeah.
and you have
Yeah.
lifting, but
Yeah.
you made the hard call back in the day to give up one. So please
Yeah.
tell the audience your story because I find it fascinating because many of us cannot give it up.
I know, and it was difficult, and I'm slowly now getting back into it. But about well, my whole life I was athletic, competed in a lot of different things, but I got into strongman and powerlifting, which was my absolute passion.
Mhm.
And I trained really hard, got to 600 deadlift, 500 squat. Uh,
Uh,
Not even going to mention the bench. The bench was pretty bad,
Yeah,
but
same
I
here.
competed.
I
Yeah,
was I was
really?
good in those 2 lifts, and then I couldn't bench for my life of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I don't
very
know
weird.
why.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, and then I randomly made the channel by accident. I was at home sick, and I was like, "Well, I have a Star Wars theory. I'll just make a channel called Star Wars Theory and make a video." And forgot about the whole thing for 3 4 weeks. Checked back, and I'm like, "Oh, I have a few views and subscribers. Why? On what?" And I'm like, "Oh, right, that Star Wars channel I made. Oh, cool. Okay." And then I went to it, and I'm like, "There's comments," and it just reminded me of when I was younger, and I was on the Star Wars forums and everything.
Right.
And so I kept making videos after that, and a lot of late nights, a lot of not sleeping, and I kind of had to sacrifice my training and my lifting
Mm.
because, as you know, sleep is so important. And I wasn't sleeping at all, so I wasn't really sleeping, eating. I wasn't going out. I wasn't going on dates. Um, I wasn't really doing anything other than just sitting in my chair and working.
Yeah,
And so
that's the life
the
of a
lifting,
YouTuber, right? That's
yeah,
the
I
ultimate life.
sacrificed literally everything, and lifting was a major part of my life, and it took a back seat.
Yeah.
But yeah, now getting back into it slowly, which is nice,
Mhm.
and yeah, excited to see where the gains will take me, the newbie gains from now.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because,
yeah,
if you stop at your peak, it takes a while to get back to that, after so many
yeah.
years. Did you take full off during this time that you were growing your channel? Did you go to the gym, like, recreationally here and there and
I went recreationally here and there. I mean, there were some months where I was more consistent. Like last year when I bought a house, I made my gym a garage. I was training pretty consistently,
Mm,
but still, even then, just the habit of working and
yeah.
being lazy. Like I had all this stuff in my garage, but I was just still mentally not sleeping. I wasn't eating right. So I just didn't feel like exerting that amount of energy
Mhm.
because I found if I train really hard, like how I would normally train when I competed. When I'd go to make videos, I'm just foggy. I'm
Yeah,
not as smart.
same
I,
here,
I'm
man.
I'm
S
lazy, sleepy,
Same
and so I
here.
was like, well, one has to be sacrificed.
Oh, man. So
Yeah.
I think my entire audience is cringing right now because
Oh,
nobody.
they're all cringing.
Yeah, they're all
They're all
cringing, like,
cringing.
"Oh, I can't sacrifice the most important part of the day," because we all love it, right? Training.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like, I noticed that dialing my training intensity back quite a bit over the last couple of years because I used to be, crazy in the gym and, train for hypertrophy and walk around 118, 120 kilos at certain periods of time.
Yeah.
Just makes you
Jeez.
dead tired, sleepy
Yeah.
all day, and then you try to write video, scripts, just to make sure all the information is there, forget about it, by the time you're done, you don't even wanna record. It's crazy.
No, I didn't want to do anything. I
Yeah,
just wanted to like lay around and just work or watch TV.
right. Yeah.
It's like I don't want to do anything actually vigorous. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
anything that requires like your brain.
I think your muscles just take your brain capacity away because it requires so much nutrients. And then, of course, the oxygen is
Yeah.
going to the muscle and it's taking away all these essential micronutrients and stuff.
Well, and I
And
think
yeah,
with the type of training of powerlifting, it really taxes your central nervous
for
system
sure.
so much
Yeah,
that and now I'm learning with bodybuilding as I'm training and trying to learning that sport is a completely different beast, and that taxes you in a such a different way too.
yeah. Yeah, so you don't have
So
really
it's
like one max effort lift. but you have multiple sets to failure. And then,
Yeah.
of course, that accumulates over time as well. So what I found now, the best thing is just to do 4 days a week, and I don't train anywhere close to failure, which is mentally very, very hard because you go to the gym after so many years and you're there, you're in the set, and you're in the motion, and you're like, am I not going to take it to failure now? Because that's like your 1 hour to really have fun. It's tough for me.
Right.
I'm still trying to slowly phase it out, that hardcore lifting, but it's I think the best thing for me was just to come off cycle and not take any PEDs to make me train hard and recover well. That's
So for the audience that doesn't know, I've been on TRT for the last 2 years just about at
mhm.
150 milligrams a week, so I don't know what it feels like to go above that.
Right, yeah.
If you do go above that and you take other compounds, does it actually make you train harder?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if that's the compound himself or simply the sympathetic drive that you get from it, right? You're
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit more positively aggressive, and of course
yeah,
the nitrogen balance and the electrolyte balance give you like a super pump, so that makes you train harder. And in the
right.
back of your head that you're on this cocktail of PEDs, that the
Yeah,
recovery is going to be phenomenal, right? Wolverine like.
yeah,
Wolverine, you basically have a back to tank. It's your,
right. Yeah, literally.
yeah, literally, you have a back to tank at home, but it's just your bit. So, and you
Yeah,
bring the back to tank with you in the form of injections. so, so
yeah,
you can just do whatever and train super hard. And then, of course, when you get to the higher levels, then you really have to manage your recovery capacity because you can only recover so much, but it's still twice or three times higher than
yeah.
TRT or especially natural. It's
What
huge difference. Yeah.
what's your view? Because I know there are very differing views. Like I've talked to everybody. I've talked to Ron Partlow, like
Mhm.
my coach now, as you know. I've had Eric Lillybridge as my coach, Dan Green. I've talked to Greg Doucette on the phone for
Mhm.
some stuff. Um, Stan Efferding,
Right.
and they all have sort of different ideas regarding protein intake.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
it's very
It's
interesting.
like what?
So
Yeah.
everybody has
What do
like
you think about it?
so everybody has confirmation bias, right? So you work with your own body first as a coach,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
try to perfect that in the course of like 10, 15 years. Some guys longer, obviously, like Stan has decades of experience. And
Yeah.
Ron Partlow also, he's been in the bodybuilding sport for a very long time. So
Yeah.
you get a little bit of confirmation bias, and then my way, and then you differentiate a little bit with clients. But you also get
Right.
the best results you get with clients are probably the ones that work well with you because they sign up for you because it's relatable. So now
Yeah.
you get even more confirmation bias that everything you do is the right way, and then you try to
Yeah.
put that on clients, which is very hard to let go because everybody's vastly different. So I don't know. When I was still coaching people, the protein intake was all over the place for some people, and then during the off season, it will be way lower than during the cutting phase or contest prep because the carbs go down and then the protein needs to come
Right.
up, and vice versa. That's why I like the vertical diet so much because during the off season, it's really beneficial. You don't have so much protein intake, but the carbs go really sky high for performance.
Yeah.
And of course, not everybody does
Yeah.
well with that because when I did the vertical diet, I was brain fogged the entire day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. That was one of the things Stan told me. He's like, you actually don't need as much protein as you think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And growing up, especially natty, you think, like, oh, more protein, bigger muscle. It's like, well, no, natty, you can't even really absorb and
No.
process, synthesize that much protein.
Yeah. And then you
Uh,
train a
s-
little bit too long and all you smell is like ammonia because you're starting to burn proteins. Yeah.
yeah,
We've all gone
exactly.
through that, man.
Yeah, dude. And that's it's even with the 150 milligrams a week, I noticed like just by training once a week over the
Mm.
last 8 or 9 months, I've been able to maintain a decent amount of size for what I'm used to, and I can still deadlift 500 pounds. I can still squat over 400 pounds
Oh, okay.
without really putting any training into it at all.
Yeah.
It's I think a lot of it's muscle memory
Of
and all
course.
that, but
Yeah.
also the fact that there's an adequate level of hormones there to sustain this level of lifting and muscle and keep it there without actually training so much.
Right. And then,
So,
so how many years did you put in previously before you decided to kind of, ease back and focus on
mm,
the YouTube channels?
I think like 10 years,
Oh, yeah. That's solidified. It
like
doesn't go away.
8 years.
And,
Yeah,
and
8 years.
and during this time, you were probably slightly androgen deficient as well, right?
Yeah, my test levels weren't really high.
No.
They were like, I mean, we have the Canadian way of measuring it, which is like it was 16 to 17 on the scale,
Yeah, that's
and I
in the
think the
middle.
max was like 28 or so, which they've lowered. It used to be
Yeah.
32.
No, the reference
Um,
ranges are getting increasingly feminist,
which
unfortunately.
yeah, exactly. Which I think that is accounts to about 600 or something on the scale,
Okay.
550 or something
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah, that's
which is
not optimal.
shit.
Yeah, that's not
No,
optimal. So
no,
that's where I
no,
am right now. I just
no.
did my blood work Sunday, and I'm around 600. You know, so
Why?
well,
Are you
I'm
off
trying.
everything?
Yeah. Well, besides the fertility medication, so I'm trying to get my wife pregnant this year.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay, yeah.
yeah, it's time, man. It's time.
Nice.
So we've been procrastinating a little bit. So I'm close to 40 years old now, and
Are you?
yeah.
Oh, dude, awesome. I
Well,
thought we were the same age.
no, I'm an old
Holy
asshole, dude.
Oh, well, not too far off. I mean, I'm 33, so you
Yeah.
must be like,
Yeah,
39 or
that's
whatever.
you got your whole life ahead of you.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
so that's funny,
Yeah.
right? So every year you age, you probably well, hopefully you can get up to 4 million, 6 million followers because you have like 3.3 million, right? So that's
Yeah, that'd be
similar to
cool.
your birthday. Yeah, yeah. But if you get up to
Yeah, that'd be
50,
sweet.
man,
Oh,
could
yeah,
be
I didn't even think of that. Weird.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Yeah, I
got
wanna get to 10 million. That'd be nice.
that would be very nice. Yeah. That would
Yeah.
be very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
so I came off everything end of last year after the Mr. Olympia, and then now I just run HCG and recombinant FSH. So that's basically replacing the bioidentical hormones that you produce when you're drug free. So your pituitary sends the luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone to the testicles for them to produce semen and testosterone. And recombinant luteinizing hormone is hard to source, but recombinant follicle stimulating hormone is actually doable. You can find that online in the outer rim, basically in the outer
Okay.
rim of the
Yeah,
internet. Yeah.
in the
So
unknown regions.
yeah, the
Yeah.
unknown regions, right? So magically, it finds its way through some of the hyperlanes to my house, and yeah, now I'm running the. I love Star Wars, man, so that's why I'm gonna throw in all the jokes.
Yeah, dude, definitely
Yeah.
do it.
So so I'm running HCG and FSH, and
Yeah.
my testosterone fluctuates between 600 to about 900, depending on when I measure it and what I'm
Right.
doing and how I'm sleeping, right? Because now I'm kind of
Yeah.
dependent on these hormones. I don't supplement exogenously anymore. And I lost like 10 kilos over the last couple of weeks, or a couple of months since the
Jeez.
Olympia. Yeah, I went from 105 to like 91 and a half at my lowest.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's there, but I'm still surprisingly strong. It's not at my peak strength, but let's say
Oh,
75,
yeah.
80%, and I leaned out quite a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, once the wife is pregnant, obviously I'll join the club of TRT again and maybe a little bit more. And then, yeah, do a
What do
similar
you
comeback.
what do you normally run your TRT at?
So my TRT is TRT plus for bodybuilders. And I would
Right.
start at like 150 milligrams and then
Yeah.
slowly ramp my way up. And
Yeah.
every time I do it like this, I it get the total max dose would get a little bit lower. So I think last year I peaked out at maybe 1,000 milligrams of test, primo, nandrolone, and maybe some anavar here and there. But
Okay.
it's a combination.
Right.
And now I might just do test and primo because nandrolone I don't know, didn't really get much out of it. And or I might just do test. But I've done like 2,000 milligrams of testosterone in the past, which is
Per week?
yeah, yeah,
Oh my god.
that's yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you wanna know what
Eh,
an ogre feels
benefit?
like, yeah.
An ogre?
Yeah, that's basically what you feel like. Yeah, you
Like
feel like
Shrek?
yeah, 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 but that's what you look like also, your face is like that big.
Like moon face? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a pretty sight,
Jesus.
but you do feel like a god in the gym, So when I was, like, hardcore bodybuilding, that was the life. You go to the gym, posing and cardio and client work, but that's, not my life anymore, so I don't think I'll go that high again. But maybe
That's crazy.
yeah, maybe 150, 300. I'll see. I'll decide. Let's see how the burden
Yeah.
of having a child is, because that's, of course, the most important thing, once the baby is born.
Yeah. Yeah. Sleepless nights, man.
Yeah,
Probably.
but the funny thing is, maybe you've noticed that yourself. Like when you're on TRT, you sleep a lot better. And I do like NAD plus IV administration, so that's a little bit of anti aging, and
Yep.
that was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
game changer. So now I can sleep 4 hours and feel like I slept 8 hours. Of course, I need to catch that up in the weekend, but I'm still cognitive and productive and all that stuff. So I don't think you need it yet, but once you start turning close to 40, I think that NAD
Well, yeah.
plus and nicotinamide mononucleotide, what all the anti-aging guys are talking about,
Yeah.
highly beneficial. Highly.
I just bought NAD today.
Oh,
The
good.
pills, but
The
I don't know
pills.
if that's as, good as obviously
Is
as, IV.
is that the NAD plus that actually has nicotinamide riboside? because that's how they market
I
it
believe
nowadays.
I believe so, yeah,
Yeah.
I used to work at the supplement shop, and I went in there, my best buddy owns it,
Uh-huh.
and, some kid was talking about it, and I'm like, "Oh, you sell that?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, I'll try it." So I
Mhm.
took it and tried it today, popped 2 caps. It was only 400 milligrams,
Yeah.
so I don't think it's really enough.
So you have like levels to it. Like nicotinamide riboside needs to be converted into nicotinamide mononucleotide, which is the active, or not active, but that's like the precursor for NAD plus. So now you're like 2 steps out. That's so
Right.
NR to NMN to NAD plus. And
Okay.
I found that taking NMN directly works better for NAD plus levels, just based on my feeling, because there's no blood test for this. Based on my
Mhm.
feeling, I found that supplemental NMN works better for NAD plus levels, but end
Yeah.
stage optimal NAD levels is IVing it.
I see.
Yeah, so here in Thailand, it's
Yeah.
easy because we have all these nurses willing to make an extra buck. Yeah, they work at the
Yeah.
private hospital, and then I asked them to come over every weekend, and I source all these products myself, and you just
Yeah.
come over and prepare the entire IV bag for you. You know, and it's
Oh, dude,
yeah,
I wish.
yeah. No, I know. I
I
mean,
wish.
maybe C11 will push all the Canadian bodybuilders and fitness YouTubers over here at one point.
Dude, don't even I'm just so
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I know.
I don't even know what I can say. I don't even know what I can say anymore online. It's like
But don't you think that it's like just for the Canadian audience?
it is for the Canadian
Yeah,
audience, which yeah, but still
like
it's crazy.
it's still a high percentage, of the audience, and if they don't,
For me, no. For me,
no,
no.
okay,
No, that I mean, what, there's 30 million people here,
hmm,
and then maybe there's like 10 million Canadians that watch my stuff
no, that's
at
what
most.
1/3.
Mm,
What?
okay, maybe even less. Well, okay, maybe there's like I don't know actually. Because I know my main demographic is California and New York are like the
Mm,
biggest ones for me, like number one,
yeah,
and then it goes USA, UK, Canada, Australia,
mm,
Germany. But yeah, I don't know. Like wherever I go here, I'm always getting recognized. So I imagine all of Canada,
no
maybe.
shoe, huh? You get the red carpet
Yeah.
everywhere.
May
I wonder what that
no.
life is like. Like I get recognized here at the bodybuilding shows, obviously, because
Yeah.
I've been here for such
Yeah.
a long time, but it's
Yeah.
only like in that little bodybuilding circle, right? So I went to Bali, I go to the gyms, and some people recognize me there. But as soon as I'm out
Yeah.
of the gym, they're like I just a statistic, like everybody else. But I can't imagine what it's like to have like 3.5 or 3.4, 3.3 million followers, and then just
yeah.
get recognized everywhere. So what is that like?
Well, it's not everywhere at all. I mean,
Mm,
if it's at a Star Wars convention, it's quite a bit,
right.
but really depends on where I am. If I'm in California, it's pretty often.
Mm,
But here in Vancouver, it's like if I go out, usually there'll be like at least one person that
okay,
recognizes me,
that's all right.
one or two people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
yeah, it's okay.
pretty much the same for Derek. Yeah, he's up in that area also.
Yeah, I bet,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
It's funny
I
that you
haven't
guys
run
don't.
into him though.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, but I think you
Yeah,
and Derek are well, you probably sleep on the
I
same
I
time
never
zone.
leave.
I never
I never leave
leave.
my house.
Yeah, I have the same. Yeah.
I don't go anywhere. Yeah.
I think this is where most of the YouTube money goes. You just buy yourself a mansion, and then so you have
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, because you want to be time efficient, right? So you have your home gym, you have a big kitchen, and then a couple places where you can record and stuff. And that's what I'm thinking about after the next Bitcoin bull run.
Yeah.
Because right now I just got everything locked up as long-term investments.
Cool.
But once that Bitcoin bull run happens again, if fingers crossed, I think so, but fingers crossed, then then it's time to pull the money out and build something for myself, just like you have, and then that will
Would you
be.
stay there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and like
Yeah.
every time I think about going to Dubai or the Western world, and I start researching in it, I see so many roadblocks that I'm like, you know what? I got all my connections here. I know people here. I'm loved and respected here. So why would I leave?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to
Exactly.
it's hard to get started in another country, obviously, but once you're there, it's easier to stay.
Yeah, no, why would you leave?
Yeah. So I'll probably.
Is your wife from there?
Yeah, my wife is Thai. Yeah, yeah. We met 10
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah, we're married for 8 years now. Long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, no. Why? Why leave?
Yeah, exactly. And so
You know.
far, Thailand is still good. It's getting more expensive, and restrictions are getting a little bit higher. It's slowly turning into the Western world, but for now, it's still a great place to stay. Yeah.
You
Hey,
could just buy property and rent it out in
yeah,
Thailand.
yeah, you could. Yeah, if you want to. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just feel that the return on investment on property is not that stellar because there's a lot of empty properties here, same as in Dubai.
I heard, yeah, I have
Yeah.
some friends here that are like, "Oh, let's just buy places in Thailand and rent it out," and I'm like, "Huh."
Oh, you're
Like, I got
welcome.
a buddy, the so and so did this, and they're making this and this, and I'm like, "Oh, cool, nice."
Yeah, and then you compare it to
Okay.
Bitcoin and YouTube, and then you're like, okay, maybe it's not so nice.
Some of them have well, there's just one guy, he had a whole building.
Oh, really?
So it
Okay,
was like
that's
a it was
good.
a
Yeah,
whole
that's good.
apartment
That's
building
good.
and renting out all of the units, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's
So
pretty
you get
crazy." But I don't know, it's just different world for me. I stick to what I know.
maybe it's time to come over.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I'll roll
Yeah,
up the red carpet for you, man. It's
little bit of freedom, you
yeah.
know? Yeah.
At least for like 2 or 3 weeks. You know, I know that the pressure of like constantly producing content is high because I know that the Star Wars schedule is nonstop, right? It just content and then another series and then another game. And like, do you get any breaks?
I'm pretty chill now.
They're pretty
I
chill.
really was, like, very anal the first several years, like
Mm,
4 or 5 years.
yeah.
This is coming up on my 7th year in July. I'm really chill now. When I wanna make a video, I make a video. When I don't, I just go live stream, play some video games or something,
Mm,
or I focus on my other channels, like my lifting channel, or I opened up a Dragon Ball channel, Cobra Kai channel, Harry Potter, which my friend takes care of, or my gaming channel.
right.
So it's like I have all these different outlets if I feel like doing something else or interacting with a different audience of mine.
Hmm.
I have that luxury now. So
Yeah.
if I go to Thailand, I could just vlog it and post it on my gaming channel and have fun,
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Oh yeah. I have a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. And there's
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
conventions here once in a while, you know? They have
Yeah.
like anime
Yeah.
conventions. Star Wars, I'm not really sure. Maybe if there's a new Star Wars movie coming out, which apparently somehow Ray returned.
Yeah. Somehow Ray
Somehow
returned.
Ray
Yeah. That's
returned. Yeah.
there's a Ray movie. There's a movie pretty much at the start of the Jedi, and then there's a movie after episode 6, which I'm looking forward to. I think
Yeah.
that'll be good.
That should be good. Yeah. I think if they can do
Yeah.
like Old Republic and filling the blanks between 6 and 7, then there's so much material there.
Yeah, there is material, but it's like it really now depends on who they're gonna hire to do the job.
Yeah. I think Kathleen
'Cause they always keep
kind
messing it
of
up. Oh,
yeah.
she's dude, she I think she has to go.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I think she gotta go, just retire.
There's too much meddling, you know, especially at like with the Mandalorian. Apparently, there was a lot of meddling, and then some of the other
Yeah.
series. And you're like, where's this going? You know, what direction are you trying to do? It's just like now world building for something entirely different. It's so
No.
confusing.
I think they're just taking their own spin on Star Wars now.
Mm, shame.
Whatever. But their books and games are pretty good,
Yeah, of course, but
which
that's
is weird. It feels like it's old George Lucas stuff, but their
but
movies and shows.
But don't you think that the games and stuff, because they know they have to make like a hard a sell to like the core audience, that they want to stay loyal to them, and then they probably hire some guys who are super big Star Wars fans to kind of help on the back end with lore and the world and what is okay, what is not okay, right?
Yeah.
Hyperspeed ramming, okay, it's cute, but it doesn't really fall into the lore. Yeah, I mean, of course, you're in the
Uh,
cinema, you're like yes, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait, why didn't this happen before
Yeah,
in the
this
last
doesn't
6
make
movies?
sense.
Like,
This doesn't make sense at all.
there's so many more movies this could have worked. What the hell?
Yeah,
Oh, like the one in a and then they cover it up in the ninth. They're like, "Oh, it's a 1 in a million chance." Like, okay,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
cool.
Well,
Thanks for the explanation.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was, yeah, it's a shame the direction. I liked Andor, though. I liked Andor, that first season.
Andor was good. It was just kinda slow.
Yeah, it felt like
There were
a
some parts that were slow,
uh,
but it was still good. Like, the production value was high, the
mhm,
acting was good, the music was really nice, I felt,
yeah.
but yeah, just some the director, he said, like, half the time I forgot I was actually directing a Star Wars show.
This was more like a
So he
heist movie.
Yeah, it was more like a heist movie, like a cyberpunk.
Mhm.
Like, it was still good, but there were times where I was like, "Okay, let's get on.
Yeah.
Let's move to the point."
Let's move to the point. Yeah, it could have been done
Yeah.
in like 6, 8 episodes
Yeah, right,
probably.
and that's the thing with these shows, I feel like they really drag it on.
Mhm.
They did this with Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
they do it with Mandalorian, with Boba Fett. They just drag on the show so that you continue your subscription for the next week, and
Oh,
they could fill
I didn't think about it, but
Yeah,
that makes total
right, so
sense.
you
Yeah.
keep paying. Yeah, right, it's Disney now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's at least my philosophy on it, is that, like, they're just because there could be episodes where they could wipe out 80% of it and get to the meat of the matter and
Ma
just continue the story, but, you know,
Mandalorian was all filler. Like, they had,
this
like,
last one
3 episodes that were good. I think
yeah.
there will be a fan edit, like a Mandalorian supercut, and then
Well, yeah.
mix in a little bit of Boba Fett, and then mix in a little bit of the last season, but it'll be like, I don't know, 12 episodes with the best of it.
Well, supposedly the those episodes in Boba Fett were supposed to be the beginning of Mando season 3.
Right, yeah. And then they stretch it out to a whole, season, huh?
Yeah, well, they interjected it into Boba because I guess they wanted to change some stuff around with season 3 of Mando.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's too much meddling. Yeah, it's weird, but it's, it's good that we have so much Star Wars now because we had such a almost a decade of nothing, besides
yeah,
the games and some of the comic
yeah.
books. And now it's
Well, George was making his sequel trilogy. He was actually making it,
oh,
but he
really?
sold it.
And then he sold
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and he
Mm,
revealed what his sequel trilogy would have been
okay.
just a
So
few years ago.
I haven't been up to speed on that. Can you please
Yeah,
fill us
yeah.
in?
So there's a void in the galaxy after episode 6.
Mhm.
Okay, because the emperor's gone, and there's now this power vacuum where everyone wants to claim this bit of power with, the stormtroopers, the Hutts, the crime syndicates, all this and that. And essentially, Luke Skywalker is going to be creating a new Jedi Order.
Mhm.
Leia will rise to be the new, I think there was the new Chancellor of the Republic, a new Republic or something like that. And the villain is Darth Maul. He comes back
Right, yeah.
with Darth Talon,
Okay.
who was another his like apprentice,
Right.
and it would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so.
I think.
Yeah. Especially if
Yeah,
Obi-Wan can give some good instructions to Luke, on how to
to
defeat this.
Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just slice
and
him in the middle,
Anakin,
but you know.
but this
Yeah,
way this time.
this
Yeah,
way.
yeah, that'd be cool.
For sure.
Maybe that would work. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's some projects that I really like, and there's some projects that I'm just like that
Yeah.
didn't feel authentic to me. But it's a different company now.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It
You kind
evolves.
of just got to pick and choose.
So same with Star Trek. It used to be like phenomenal when you grow up. You watch Star Trek, and then they moved it to Paramount, and they made it like 70% Star Trek. They had to change it a certain percentage, and then everything
Yeah,
changed. So Strange New Worlds is still okay, that first season,
yeah,
but all the other
yeah.
Star Trek, the last season from Picard was okay, but the first two were
I heard it was good.
horrendous. Yeah,
I heard it was good
yeah,
the last season. Well, that's the thing now. I think they're just taking a whole bunch of these memorable shows and franchises and just adding on to them, but sort of making them worse
yeah,
because there are the creatives, I think, and then there are these board executives that sit there and they just kind of meddle too much.
yeah, mhm,
Too many cooks in the kitchen,
for
kind of
sure.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's what happened with Kennedy. I mean, it's just, oh, we got to think about this. Sell the toys. Keep Grogu in there, and
Yeah, yeah,
like, yeah, it's a bit frustrating as a fan to probably understand more about the universe of Star Wars. The extended lore and what is now considered not canon anymore, and then slowly
yeah,
bring pieces back just to appease the fans. And
yeah.
yeah, it's quite a bit frustrating. But like, would they ever start Star Wars from Episode 1 over again and do it right?
No,
No, right?
no. So that was in the contract with George that they can never go back and redo the
Oh,
films that he made.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
yeah. And apparently he owns episode 4 still.
Oh, really?
I think so, yeah, the first one that he ever made, he owns it,
Yeah, because it's his baby, right? That's
unless
what
I'm mistaken, yeah,
yeah, that's what started it all. Oh, wow.
yeah, and they can never change anything to do with them, like,
Mhm.
alter anything, they can't. It's just gotta keep it the same. They can remaster it, like, make it look nicer, but
So now it's up to guys like you to fill in the blanks with Vader episode 1 and
well, that's
Vader
the thing.
episode
That's
2, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking
yeah,
forward
yeah.
to it, man. I was thinking,
Me too,
give us
me
some
too.
inside scoops on the second episode.
Well, it's gonna be pretty damn amazing, I think. We were quoted a bunch of different numbers from different
Mhm.
studios. I wanted to do it in live action, but I think it's gonna be better if I do it full CGI. I
Right.
think it'll just run better. I just have a feeling. It's the
Mhm.
force guiding me,
Right.
and I think it's gonna take some time, but overall, the product will be pretty good.
Mhm. I've seen some of
It's
your
at a
pictures on Instagram, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
already
yeah,
quite impressed. I mean, it's so funny that
yeah,
you can go from, like a casual fan to actually produce Star Wars content that is, like people are waiting for it. I'm sure.
yeah. I know. It's weird. It blows my mind too. Every
Great
day I
to
wake up and I'm just like happy to be doing this.
Mhm.
I feel very lucky. But that's also the good thing about being a fan is that there are some really amazing fan films out there. So
Mm.
it's we're not really at the the behest of Disney all that much because there's so many talented creators that are making some really cool stuff. Like there's this one guy, Pixel Joker, who's
No.
gone in and completely changed the Kenobi show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Is it out
completely
already?
changed it. No, the trailer is out, which
Yeah.
people get trying to make me watch it still, but I've seen images of it, and I'm like, this is insane.
You don't want to be
Like,
spoiled
how
for
is
the
it?
final product.
This is amazing.
Yeah, it
This is
is.
like because they're changing like the whole world of everything. There's like you can see the planets, you can see like how it should have been
Mhm.
lore wise, and they're doing it really well.
Yeah,
So
I'm very
pretty cool.
excited. I hope we can get it done, and it's unfortunate, like,
Yeah.
because you're remixing the source material, you can't really get paid for it unless it's through donations, I think.
And that's even a really like hush hush area
Yeah.
because you can't do a crowdfund or a Kickstarter or
No.
anything. So it's yeah, it's sort of super chats and things like that if you
Right.
do a live
Yeah.
stream or what. Yeah, so
The only
it's
way you
yeah.
can do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I'll make it happen.
Yeah, I think the community will somehow pull together and just show appreciation. That's what the super chats and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And otherwise, you can always do NFTs, right? And you
I know
use
nothing about
yeah,
I know nothing about that.
you get like the AI software to make NFTs, and then you sell like exclusive NFTs and let them,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they could,
I could do that.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
at least
Isn't that
it's
like what Logan Paul does or something like that?
yeah, yeah, it's a bit shady, yeah.
He's
But he did video games, or yeah, and sold
yeah,
the NFTs.
yes, something, and they sold really, like, crazy, or he took pictures or something like that. Yeah, there's a lot of different things. I mean, eventually, I'd like to make my own stories
Yeah.
away from Star Wars,
Right. Yeah,
my
and
own
you could
comic
just
books.
do what you can learn what you can on, doing these kinds of productions, and then you do your own stuff. Yeah, and then you
Yeah,
could,
well, I like writing stories, so
right.
what are your other passions besides, lifting
So I
and
like
coaching?
I like traveling, which is just
Oh,
horrible to combine with lifting, because with traveling you are solely dependent on the food that's available, the gyms that are available, and the sites that you can see. But for bodybuilding and fitness, you need the monotony, right? You need a kitchen close, you need
yeah,
a pharmacy close by, perhaps, right? If you're on that
yeah,
level, and a gym
yeah,
close by, and you just need stability so you can sleep in the same bed. So that is like, so I'm basically like do things that are kind of polar opposite. And then when I do travel, I just travel like I really want to see the place. So when I went to Bali, yeah, I barely
yeah,
went to the gym, man. I just ate what I could find, still reasonably healthy, some protein, some
right,
vegetables, some healthy carbs. And
yeah,
but I kind of let go as a bodybuilder, fitness enthusiast. I just see new stuff. So I actually traveled for an entire year through Asia, and that changed my perspective on life so much. Because
of course, it's so different.
yeah, it's so different. You come from the Western world where everybody's employed, and back then that was before social media, so you had no idea that this is even possible through social media. Collaborations,
Yeah,
making money online, and that
no,
that didn't exist. So when I started traveling, you see all these local people just hustling. They have multiple revenue streams. They have a restaurant, and then maybe they sell some lottery tickets, and they have some other stuff that they sell. So they put like 8 revenue streams together in a single spot. You're like, wait a minute, this is great, you know?
yeah,
Because normally you would have a salary, and that's it,
right,
right? So
right,
so after that trip of seeing this over and over again through Asia, in Mongolia and China and Thailand and, man, Singapore and everything in between, it's I just realized that I shouldn't be working for anybody else, and I'm
no,
just gonna do it myself. Yeah. But I love traveling. Yeah, I'm planning several more trips this year, and every time
yeah,
I'll get a little bit chunky and lose a little bit of muscle, but that's okay. It's
that's
easy.
okay.
Yeah, it's easy to maintain at this point. So Bali probably again in August, and then United States, and then I might swing past Dubai, and I might swing past Vancouver. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because it's not
yeah,
too far.
You,
Yeah.
me, and Ron,
Yeah, and
we gotta go
Derek,
train.
maybe if we can pull Derek out of his man cave, then
If yeah, out of his yeah, yeah, I feel like he's even worse than me, man. He probably doesn't even leave at all.
he eased back quite a bit. His road to 1 million was insane. Right?
Oh, dude, he was killing
He
it.
was killing it because he wanted 1 million before going on Joe Rogan, and then
Yeah,
after that, he kind of like relaxed a little bit,
yeah,
and now
yeah. I
he's
see that his uploads aren't nearly
no,
as
he-
aggressive, I guess,
yeah,
as before.
he's
Like it
playing
was like
Jedi
2, 3 days,
Survivor,
but
I
like,
think.
is he?
He's catching up on lost time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleeping.
Yeah.
That's actually something I'd love to ask you is
Mhm.
I really have damaged myself with the lack of sleep.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
yeah, in the beginning, the first 2 years, I kid you not, I would be writing scripts. I'd be so sleep deprived that I would fall asleep. I would dream and hit REM sleep, and I would wake up
Yeah.
to find I had completed the sentence in my dream.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
and I would
hardcore.
hallucinate. I remember I hallucinated once a pirate ship coming out of the wall. Literally, I'm looking into the corner of the wall,
Mhm.
and I'm like, detail and everything. I'm seeing a pirate ship come out
Was it a Lego
as if
pirate ship?
I'm dreaming. No, it was
Too bad.
like a Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, take a brick off. Yeah,
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 exactly, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's some
So I've definitely,
serious sleep deprivation, yeah.
yeah. Like, do you think that affects anything in the long term? Are there ways to mitigate that or
Mm,
recover from that?
no, I think
Because I
that
definitely feel slower
I mean,
since those years,
could be.
like mentally.
Like, there's, compounds for neurogenesis that could help,
Mhm.
but you have to do
Peptides and
yeah,
stuff.
peptides like the cerebral for example, or Sphynx. But, like, what would be beneficial for you is maybe just to do a retreat for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and really get out of the workload, but that might also mean that you can
Yeah.
never get back into it.
I've done that. I've
Yeah.
done that, and it's really hard to get back into it, which I'm even noticing now because I did the whole Jedi Survivor stream where
Mhm.
I did a 6 hour, 7 hour, 8 hour, 11 hour, and then 7 hour stream
Uh
5 days in a row, and I'm just finding it actually hard to work now because it was just so easy. Like streaming
Oh,
is
right,
just
you don't
such
need the
a
mental capacity, you just sit there playing
oh
video
my
games.
god,
I'm not
oh my god,
I'm
dude!
gonna do the same
I
thing next week or this week when, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom comes out, like,
oh, that's
that's
gonna be
my
cool.
jam, so
Do you have? Are you gonna stream it or you just
no,
play it?
I'm like, Nintendo doesn't like their fans, so you can't stream. You can't stream, man. No, I'm just gonna play at home. I'll take, like, 2 or 3 hours per day and just play video games at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Dream
that'll be
about
cool.
Legend of Zelda, just like you do.
Yeah, that'll be sweet.
Yeah.
That's my favorite game is Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, mine too, man. That's how I got
Ocarina of
introduced.
Time
Yeah.
and God of War 4.
So I named all my cats after Ocarina of Time characters.
Really?
Yeah, I got not all, but so I got Twin Rova, that's the end boss of the Shadow
Yeah.
Temple, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
got Midna, so that's from the follow up to Legend of Zelda. What was it called?
Majora's Mask?
No, Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess. Yeah, it's a little bit later
Oh,
on. Yeah, Midna,
I didn't play
Twilight
that one.
Princess. Okay, then I got Link, obviously.
Yeah.
I got the Skull Kid, obviously.
Okay,
Then I
okay.
got Foxy, but she's a black cat, and there's no black cats in Zelda at all. So I named
No.
her Foxy Ermagoma after the black spider with a yellow eye. So she's black with
Yeah.
a yellow eyes. So that's the
Oh,
closest
okay.
but I had to name her Foxy because she's so cute.
There's no Epona?
No Epona, no, but there's always room for more.
There's always room for more.
And then of course I have Zelda, which has a double colored eyes. So that's one blue, one
Oh,
yellow.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. So
You gotta get a Ganondorf and you gotta get a Epona.
I thought about getting a Ganon, but every time I go to the breeder, I don't see anybody that looks like a Ganon because you would think that,
Ganondorf.
yeah, like a Ganondorf, yeah. So every time
What the hell was it? There was this dog that looks like a cat, but it was, like, jacked. I can't remember. It was coming out of a box. It was one of those reels. I can't remember now, but it was like there was
uh,
this hairless cat, and it looked just like a dog, but it was a cat. It
oh,
was
you mean on
jacked.
Instagram, right? Yeah, everybody tagged me
Yeah,
in that one.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you have the lighting good,
Oh.
because I have Sphynx cats, all 6 of them, they don't have hair, like just like you
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, just like you and me.
Just
No,
like yeah, yeah,
no hair.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no hair. It's
yeah.
the easiest to clean. They're a little
The
bit
way to go.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little bit greasy though, like bodybuilders. Bodybuilders are greasy also. So you
They
gotta
are. I had an ex who had one of those cats, and, really weird to touch them at first, and then you're, like, just hooked on it because 'cause they're like leather.
exactly, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
2 of my cats, they feel like they have shark skin, like a little bit of this, I don't know, rough texture, but it's all skin,
yeah,
and they're super
yeah,
jacked, so you see all of their muscles underneath, and
yeah.
then, yeah, it feels like I have 6 more bodybuilders in the home.
Yeah, see, like, my girlfriend brought 2 of her cats here,
Uh-huh,
and I'm like, I'm allergic to them, but some days I'm getting better, some days I'm not, I don't know,
yeah.
so I try to, supplement with quercetin, but
That helps a
who
little
knows
bit.
if it really
Yeah,
does
that
much.
helps a little bit.
Yeah, a
It's
little
mostly
bit,
the
yeah,
hair that you're allergic to. So with the Sphynx cats, I think the first 2 when I got Twin Rova and then Midna, I got like a little bit wheezy, but now I'm so
yeah.
used to it. And of course we clean them twice a week. So that keeps everything, nice
Yeah,
and clean in
that
the
probably
house.
helps.
And then,
Yeah,
yeah, now they sleep with me in the bed and stuff. And yeah, so every morning I wake up, I got like 6 of these little munchkins around. It's
that's so cool. I love
great. Yeah.
animals, man.
I
I
lo
got 2 giant dogs as well.
All right, okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah,
It's good,
yeah,
man. It
yeah.
gives you, like, a little bit of time to step away from the TV and the computer and work because,
Eh
you know, and then you spend some good time. So, what I noticed, like, and this might be beneficial for you, like, I quit all work at 3 o'clock in the morning, which sounds weird, but we're both 4 o'clock in the morning guys, right? That's when we
Dude,
go
I'm
to
the
bed.
same.
Yeah, yeah.
I stop at around 4. I'm like 4 o'clock. I'm like, "Ah, I should probably finish up." Sometimes I go over, but
Oh,
yeah.
man. And then what time do you go to bed? 5, 6?
Um, it really depends. Lately, it's been like 6.
Oh, man. You're
Not
on that
happy
that
about it.
vampire schedule.
I know, the sun comes up and everything. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It doesn't feel good.
No, I can imagine,
It really doesn't
but the
feel good.
weird thing is it does work because the internet is faster and there's less noise around the area, right? So, like right now, I'm scared to death that this internet is gonna drop out and that they're gonna start a Muay Thai gym right next to our house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that they're gonna start sparring
Oh,
and stuff.
geez.
That's what I'm because now it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but then from 10 o'clock onwards, it's dead quiet. I can get so much
If
work
if
done.
if we start hearing someone say, "Do the dim mac,"
Yeah.
then I'll be
Oh
impressed.
yeah. No.
Have you seen Bloodsport?
Yeah. Yeah, but I can't remember that
Okay.
line. Yeah,
Okay, well, he, like, went in there, and then, he's like, "Do the dim mak," and the dim mak is, like, this, like, old martial arts exercise where you hit one of the bricks, and you choose which brick has to explode.
Ah,
And so he's
okay.
like, "No, bottom one," and everyone's, like, watching, and he's like, "Yeah!" It was dope.
Man, those like old movies are the best, man. Those
Oh, I live by them.
yeah, those are the best.
I
So
live by them.
so I go to bed around 4 and I cut it off at 3. So phones are off, work is off, and then I go downstairs where we sold the home gym to build it to a cat palace because we have so many of them. Yeah, the gyms are open now, so I can just go to the gym.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So we sold all the squat rack and the Smith machine and some of the dumbbells and stuff. Sold it all. So now on the ground floor where we are, we have like basically a cat palace. I go downstairs, I lay down, and I just kind of decompress for an hour,
Yeah.
and I just play with all the cats or the ones that are not in the bedroom yet because my wife goes to bed much earlier than I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, it's really nice having
Mm.
animals. It's like they purify the energy
Yeah,
almost.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And it
Yeah.
helps you de-stress, in between all this working hours. So maybe
Yeah.
this is something you can do. Like when the sun comes up, you go walk your dogs and
Yeah, I definitely want to move into a much more healthier way of life,
Mhm.
but it's just something about past like 11 o'clock. Like for me, when we started this podcast
Yeah.
at 11, my brain just switches on, and
It's
I
weird, huh?
everything is clear. Everything is very like I process really high.
Do you think it's like the climate or some oxygen or something that because I've talked to so many entrepreneurs and most of them say the same thing. When I work at night, I'm 10 times more productive. And I can't find any scientific literature to support it, but
I th-
most of us, we end up kind of like this and we love it.
I think a lot of us can maybe, whether knowing or not, feel the energy
Mhm.
of the city around us. And usually around this time, people go to sleep, and there isn't as much, I don't know, chatter
Right.
or outside noise, or
Mhm.
the energy just seems more calm.
Yeah.
The world is asleep, so you're not really going to get phone calls. You're not going to get emails. You're not going to get anything to distract you like that. It's
Yeah.
just quiet
Yeah.
and
That you
easy.
can do what you want and, not
Yeah.
get
Yeah. I
interrupted.
can.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Yeah. So
I
I don't
get it.
know. That's the way I rationalize it, but
So
it's
what
just better.
So what I'll do is I'll make a four-parter about improving sleep quality, one about supplements,
Yeah.
one about performance
Yeah.
enhancing drugs or medications, right?
Yeah.
One about methods like taping your mouth and having one of those, blackout curtains, for example. So everything in that segment, and then one about basically best practices, combining all four.
Mhm.
So that will be slowly be released because you know how internet. If I do a deep dive that's 1 hour and 20 minutes long, then nobody will
Yeah.
watch it. So I'm going to have
Well,
to split that up.
I
Yeah.
was gonna tell you, I opened up a Star Wars Theory Plus channel,
Mhm.
and it's been absolutely exploding.
Oh, really?
So essentially, it's just yeah. So I was gonna recommend maybe you do the same,
Mhm.
because some of your videos are so long or whatever. You can find someone, or even do it yourself if you have the time.
Mhm.
Take important highlights of certain videos or podcasts, and upload them on that channel.
Right, and then you can send them over, send the
It,
subscribers over. Yeah, I thought about that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's weird. It hits the algorithm different, like maybe like 5 to 10 minute videos, but it's very concise and it's
Mhm.
edited, and it gets them right to the point. You might have one podcast where you have like 20 videos out of.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a clips channel, right? Like what Joe Rogan does. He just have like a couple clips channel to
Yeah,
send them to the bigger, and of course now they have to go to Spotify. But yeah, I'll probably at one point I'll get a second editor. I got a first one now that's a lifesaver,
yeah,
and then I'll
yeah,
also start
yeah.
taking a little bit more serious on this YouTube, and then maybe do like a little membership section where some of the really hardcore deep dives are going to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have so much information in your videos.
Mm.
Literally, you'll talk in one video, and I'm watching, and I'm like, that's a video in itself.
Yeah,
Because like there's someone who would want to know the answer to this, or explanation of that, and it's very easy. It would make it easier for people to find your content.
yeah, that's what I'm starting to realize. Like myself, like initially I started just to make these videos for myself, but younger. And I love to do research,
Yeah,
and I can sit through an hour, 2 hours, no problem with information. But most people are it's like, oh, it's 2 hours. I don't have time for that now, even though they don't
no,
realize that there's timestamps, which they can
yeah,
just, use and then go to a particular section that they want. So I'm starting to realize that more and more now. Like, everybody else is not like me, so I might have to, split it up, and some segments are easier to understand, and some are really, really, nitty gritty deep dives,
yeah,
and then, well, it would be better for the algorithm also because instead of a 1 hour video, you get like 6 or 4 videos out of it.
yeah.
So we're,
And the titles of them are
yeah,
telling people what exactly it's about.
you know,
People don't really have an attention span today, so if you don't
I
capture
noticed
them
that.
within
Yeah,
that the thumbnail or the title, see you later. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. And
and
there's a lot of
mm,
competition now. Like a lot of people are on YouTube now. During the pandemic, everybody was like, okay, I need something to do, and that's how my channel initially grew.
mhm,
Because everybody was at home absorbing fitness information.
yeah,
And now it's
yeah,
it's it's kinda tapered off a little bit. I'm sure you've noticed something similar, like, a lot of guys are now on YouTube. There's more competition. People wanna see a fresh face, not this face anymore, which is fine, you know? So,
no, I'd argue they want to see a familiar face,
yeah.
one that they trust. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's
so.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's true
yeah,
also. Yeah. At least
yeah,
somebody who's been
and
around for a
especially
while.
well, yeah, and a lot of people are getting into the YouTube space, either for different reasons. A
Mhm.
lot of them I know in the Star Wars space just to make some cash, and a
Right.
lot of them don't seem like real fans. And the same can be said about any sort of genre, any niche. Um, so like bodybuilding, for
Right.
example, there's just a ton of fitness channels that don't know what the hell they're talking about, and I'm watching them, and I'm like, you don't know shit.
No,
What are
I
you even
know.
saying?
I mean, you've been in the space
So
for such a long time as well, so it's easy to proof watch or, like, within 1 or 2 minutes, like, "Oh, this guy's not authentic. He didn't live it."
No, yeah, when it comes to, like, lifting or, just generally, like, biomechanics or how the body works, like, I understand that quite well,
Mhm.
but, when I wanna take it to the next level, I go to your channel or I watch Derek's videos
Yeah.
and try to understand things that I have no clue about.
Right.
And you have a very good way of teaching people and
Thank you.
talking about the things that you know, which is something that's really rare. So I find with YouTube, it's easy to get an initial audience just by being flashy or
Mhm.
like, hey guys, welcome to today's video. We're gonna talk about blah, blah,"
You
doing the
start
whole
yelling like
YouTube,
Mr. Beast, yeah.
yeah, doing that whole
Yeah.
thing with the edits and all that. But I think that propagates kind of like an audience that comes and goes,
Yeah.
versus more
Mhm.
so loyal,
Mhm.
diehard
Yeah.
fans that will stay for you, and watch your videos.
Right.
So I think you got it down, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think at one point I'll hit 100,000, hopefully this year. And
Oh yeah.
just slowly starting to, incorporate more things for a wider audience. Because I think
Yeah.
it's like in the beginning, I was such a meathead, right? I was such a hardcore bodybuilder. That's all the content you make for. But then you realize that there's only so many meatheads on the planet. And then you got to
Yeah.
diversify a little bit. So now I'm a little bit more into TRT, some natural stuff, some training stuff here and there,
Yeah.
and I just got to diversify until I'm like at your level. Will I ever get to over 1 million? Probably not, but
Of course. No, of course. Why wouldn't you? Why
yeah,
wouldn't you?
I
You
think
have the experience, you have
yeah, but I'd probably have
the
to dumb down the content so much that I'm not sure if I'm wanting to make
no,
it.
you just mix it.
Yeah, maybe.
Just mix it
Mhm.
with a lot of the stuff like what Derek did. I'm not saying Derek's is dumbed down. But he does a mixture of a lot of
Well,
things.
it's a lot
I
of reaction videos, so you can,
Some of the
then
stuff is
educate them at the time. So you get them in with the reaction talking about somebody and then turn that into a learning moment,
and
which
then boom,
yeah,
it's like way over your head stuff,
right,
but like it'll start out with like the funny Reddit posts that are just you're like, holy crap, I want to know, what's the reaction to
right,
this, and then he goes into like dismantling everything scientifically and
right.
stuff like that. And I think for you that'd be great. I always saw your channel kind of like um Derek's channel, but on steroids.
Yeah.
Literally, like literally and figuratively, like
Yeah.
you were just so scientific
Mhm.
that it probably hits maybe less of a broad
I think so.
audience
Yeah, that's what I'm
of
realizing
people
now.
who aren't as intellectual, perhaps.
Mhm. Well,
Um,
the entry
uh, uh,
to watch some of my videos is
Sorry,
high. Yeah,
I mean, it hits people who are more
yeah.
intellectual, who are more into the science stuff,
Mhm.
and all that, and more experienced lifters. So I think you can broaden it out, get to
Yeah,
everybody,
I think
because
so.
there are a lot of young newbies who get the wrong information from a lot of other channels.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so,
Yeah,
I remember asking the community what they wanted to see, so they wanted to see drug stories, and I'm like, "Man, I never thought about making something like that, but it makes sense." So I made a video, and then it kinda took off. So then you feel, like, more
yeah, the
motivated.
trend video.
Yeah, the trend video, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and I got
the
s
swamp bed.
I got yeah, I got Oh, man, those were the days, dude. Yeah, those were the days.
Jeez,
Oh, man. Yeah.
is it really like the god of all juice, Tren?
Yes. It's very forgiving.
Like
It's
like
basically
if there was
the dark side. It's easy.
literally,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah,
go into that little area where the dark side is, and then you stay there, you meet yourself, and you have to decapitate yourself because it's so evil. No, that's what it is. And it's so forgiving that everybody goes on trend and they do everything wrong and they still get
yeah,
results. That's why
yeah,
everybody loves trend because you can just do whatever and you still get results. As long as you go to the gym and you eat some protein, you're fine. Basically.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
On the opposite end of that is kidney stress and brain stress and liver stress. And so, so
The
you'll
personality change
oh
and
yeah.
yeah.
Oh man. I was intolerable, dude, on Trimble. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I trained with some of my best friends in the gym when they were natty, and then they
Mhm.
hop on some stuff, and then they go on Tren.
Oh,
And holy crap, their body changed literally overnight.
yeah.
I would see them in the gym the next day, and they had like new veins forming on their shoulders, like they're pulling numbers that they were failing like just a couple days before, and then they're like just personality wise like a different person, like aggro,
Yeah.
super short tempered,
Mhm.
irritable, and I'm like, damn. And then they're going out and eating like a ton of McDonald's.
Yeah. Because they can
And
get
they're
away
like,
with
"No,
it.
no."
Yeah, they can get
They're
away
like,
with it.
"Yeah, no, no, it's a nutrition partitioner, man. Trend, that's what it does. It just anything you eat just gets shuttled to muscle." And I'm like,
Maybe those guys were on the
"I guess."
GH15 mentions board also.
Yeah, geez.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
man.
It's like a wonder drug.
It is.
I won't ever touch it. I
No,
think
don't
it's
do it.
just
You'll the people will
no,
know
I
on
don't
your
need
live
to.
streams you'll just be agitated, for particular questions and stuff, and you're just no. If anybody wants to know what bipolar and severe personality disorder is, just go on trend and you'll figure it out, and you won't even realize this how weird it is because on the time that you're on trend, you think that's totally normal, that you're
Yeah.
agitated and aggressive and you want to argue with everybody on everything, right? So you can feel right. It's like all these dopamine
Yeah.
hits. Like I beat this guy in an argument.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you
yeah.
come off and then you realize, like, I was such a dickhead.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to touch it again. I'll just stick with Test and Primo. And
Yeah.
but I still have fun memories. Like you're an animal in the gym. You're basically reduced to like three emotions. Like you wanna eat, you wanna sleep.
Yeah.
Well, four. You wanna
Yeah.
eat, you wanna sleep, you
Yeah.
wanna train, and you wanna fuck.
And
You wanna fuck.
yeah.
Yes,
That's what I heard. Yeah.
that's
That's what I
it.
heard.
So you're basically turning yourself into a gorilla, literally. That's all they want to do, right? Eat, sleep, train, and fuck, and that's your
So
life.
it's much more intense than just being on test.
Yeah, this is next level stuff.
Can you achieve can this is an interesting question. Can you achieve that feeling based by taking a copious amount of test, or is it just no?
So even on 2 grams test, I was not that aggressive. Actually, it was very, very mellow. If I think from all the steroid cycles that I've ever done in my life, which were aplenty, I would say that 2 grams of test made me feel the best and gave me the best blood work. Lipids didn't change so much. Hematocrit didn't really shoot up. My blood pressure was manageable. I was taking Cialis at the time. It's a couple of years ago before people started talking
Yeah.
about telmisartan, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I was super strong. I was recomping, no tendon issues, no mood issues. I just felt like the happiest, strongest dude on the planet. You know, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's happier and stronger dudes, but at least on
Yeah. Yeah.
my
Whatever.
circle, that I was the happiest and the strongest. So
Yeah.
I still think it's a great cycle, even though every time I tell people, I say, "Are you crazy?" I said, "Well, a little bit. You got to be a bodybuilder to be crazy, or crazy to be a
How would
bodybuilder."
you how would you administer 2 grams a week?
So that's
Like, I
basic.
mean, you must be doing multiple shots a day. It gets
So that's
intense.
1 ampule per day. Yeah, 1 ampule of testosterone per day. Yeah,
Okay.
and then an extra one on Sunday. So you get like 8 ampule. You get like 8 ampules,
Jesus,
dude.
bro.
Yeah. So there's
Oh
none
my
of this
god.
half ampule stuff. Just
No.
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 And then you throw in the growth hormone and the insulin, then you're a freak. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and bodybuilding isn't very complicated. People like to make it complicated nowadays. Staying healthy is complicated. But
Yeah.
bodybuilding is very simple. You eat right, you go to the gym, you train hard, you take some performance enhancing drugs, ideally the ones that are bioidentical,
Yeah.
and you get results. And then the last part is trying not to kill yourself, which is the hard part. And
Which is yeah,
what
seems to be
everybody
difficult.
tries to forget nowadays. So, and when I got started with my performance enhancing drug journey, there was nobody talking about health, or maybe a little bit. Blood work once a year is okay. Right.
Yeah.
And then I think now with me, Derek, and a couple other smart educators, Stan Efferding, smart educators in our space, it's changed quite a bit. That okay, health first, and then you'll get better results out of much less drugs. And you don't look
Yes.
so weathered, because
Yeah.
I still see these guys that don't really focus on their health, and they literally look like smokers.
Yeah.
You have that gray face and a lot of oxidative stress, and protruding belly because they don't take care of their digestion, and
Yeah.
it's not an appealing look. And this is ultimately the look that gives us bodybuilders and fitness enthusiasts a bad name, because
Yeah.
if general population gets exposed to bodybuilders that are moody and they look old and they're ugly and full with pimples, right?
It's
Then
not gonna be really an attractive thing
it's
to
it's
talk about.
it's not going to be accepted. So I think
No.
a select few people in our space have changed that now. And I noticed that when I came to the Olympia, that people were almost crying meeting me for the life changing information that I provided.
Yeah.
That was insane. I didn't realize how many people were actually watching.
Yeah, no, dude, you change people's lives,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So that's
You
that's
you you literally improve their health.
yeah. So that's
So,
quite good to know. Yeah. So that keeps me going. Yeah,
yeah.
keeps me
No,
going.
that's great.
Yeah. So
It's great, and it's your approach and everything that you have and your knowledge, so
mhm.
that's why I think those clips would be really beneficial for people,
Yeah, yeah,
because there's a lot of hidden gems that people are probably like, "Oh, I don't know how to fix this," but it's like, "It's right there in the video,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
like, go watch it,"
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
they're not gonna spend the time to do that because 'cause they're lazy or whatever, they have ADD.
I noticed that with the
Um,
shorts. You produce long form content, the shorts for Instagram and then TikTok, because it's multi platform, so that saves you a lot of time.
yeah.
And I could basically extend that to 5 minutes and then make it clips. That's a good idea. I'll look into it.
Yeah,
I have to ask
yeah,
somebody to do it for me. Like my editor is already doing
yeah.
overtime working on
Yeah,
videos.
I got a different editor just for that,
Yeah.
and
How
it's
many
been
people
great.
you employ now? If you don't mind answering.
No, dude, you can ask me anything you want.
What's
They're
your
not really
power level?
employed. They're all like freelancers pretty much. So
Mm,
I mean, I've got my people for Vader episode 2.
right.
I got my one editor for my videos, and then I got my other editor for my clips now.
Mhm.
I have my guy who does my SFX stuff for animations. I have an animator for 2D stuff. I have an artist who draws the stuff. Um, those are really the main ones. I'm probably
Mm.
forgetting someone. Oh, and I um, have someone who handles my Discord, and every time I want to pay her, she's like, "No, don't pay me." And I'm like, "What are you talking? Just let me pay you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
give me your
yeah.
PayPal. Like, what the hell?"
So super fans, right? Yeah, dude, I got a couple of guys like this also, and just stuff money in their pocket. You have to, because it's just to
Yeah,
show appreciation, because they take so much
yeah,
work away from you.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, how many people do you have working
I got an
on
editor,
your stuff?
like the main
Yeah,
editor, and then my wife is the pre-editor, so she works for me
cool.
full time. Yeah, I made
Yeah,
her retire. Then I got
nice.
her brother is working for me as back end stuff. I just
Yeah,
kind of manage the house and groceries and that kind of stuff. And her mom is
yeah,
working for me, so I employ her
cool.
whole family. Yeah, I can basically
Good.
set it up as a business now because I have like 4 Thai people working for me, and I could just get it as a fully fledged business here in Thailand, and
Yeah.
then get a business visa and that kind of stuff. And then I have a guy that does my timestamps for all the live streams.
Oh,
Then I have
cool, man.
come to do my thumbnails, but he's going back through the old catalog first. So he's using AI software to make me look like the Big Lebowski, and then put my face on, Tren cattle, like the huge
Has he
cow.
done this already? Can I
Yeah.
see?
No, before he used to do that, and he's slowly going through the old catalog, but he's got a full
Doing
time
it again.
job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every
cool.
time he sends me thumbnails, I laugh hysterically, so I'm keeping him on. Yeah, it makes you laugh so hard, and it's funny because his thumbnails really work because I see those in the comment section. Those older videos are popping up, and then I go into the analytics, and you see it's kind of outlining, and then it slowly goes up again. So,
Yeah,
and then I change the title at the same time. So yeah, I have about, let's say, 5 people working for me, in different capacities. And
that's cool.
yeah, it's I think people don't realize how many people need to be involved for a YouTube channel to really operate. And
Yeah, and I think that, brings me back to when I started, and when all of us started, we didn't have any of these people,
no,
right? So it's like you have to sacrifice something: the gym, dating,
hmm
your food, even eating properly. Like
yeah,
I remember I would go to like a pita place. I just have a whole bunch made, and I
hmm
just throw them in the fridge. By the end, I still can't eat pitas later to this day. I'm just sick of them. Like I don't want to eat this shit anymore. I can't do it.
of course. And you lived off those, right? And now you get like, ooh, adverse reaction. Yeah, I get it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
first couple of years I did that too, but I was quick to get my wife on board just to help me out. Because some of the videos that I record, they take like 2 hours for 20-minute video because I keep stumbling over my words. Some of the medical terms are impossible to pronounce.
yeah,
And it's not like this. Like now you can go back and forth on a podcast. It's very easy to talk. But for some of the
yeah,
deep dives I made, then I just kept stumbling, so I have to redo certain segments. And then I don't want
yeah,
to watch at it, so I let my wife take care of the pre-edit. So she
yeah,
compresses it, gets all the best parts, and then I finalize it. So yeah, I
yeah.
did that for the first couple of years, and I would just go to bed later and later and later and later, and then, oh shit, I still have to go to the gym. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. So
Right? Yeah, and then you're like, "Ah, whatever, I'll just work out tomorrow."
yeah,
And
right,
tomorrow becomes, "Oh, geez, I haven't worked out in how long now?"
yeah.
It's
I still
yeah,
go work out.
so
I need it for mental health.
yeah,
I
yeah.
need it.
Well, you said when you were on 2 grams of test, you
Mm.
didn't really have, increased hematocrit or anything. I
Mm.
get increased hematocrit with 150 milligrams.
Really?
I have to donate blood, like,
Wow.
every 6 months, 7 months.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, like
Yeah,
everybody's different like this, right? So some people just
sucks.
overproduce. Yeah, I can take a gram of
Well,
Primo or a gram of Boldenone, and my hematocrit doesn't really go up. But like I don't have sleep apnea, and I'm super on top of my nutrients, and I do so much blood work that's basically a donation by itself. Like Sunday, I drew
see.
40 milliliters of blood. It's not a full donation, but if you do that, every month,
Right.
then yeah, you take a little bit of blood out that way as well. So I think it's I think I don't get so many of the side effects anymore because I'm so meticulous with everything. And I
Yeah,
literally outsource most of the stuff that I have to be meticulous about because I don't have time for it. So,
yes,
the nurse
right.
comes, she knows exactly where the vitamin C and the NAD plus and the glutathione is. I'll pay her and I'll just sit at my desk with my arm out with an IV, and I'll do consultations at the same time.
Oh, that's
So
so cool.
yeah, I outsourced all the stuff because I have a business background. I used to be a financial business consultant. And
Cool.
yeah, yeah, in the beginning I wanted to do everything myself, but now I just realized like, hey, I can rather pay somebody else who's better at it than I am, and then I
Yeah,
can focus on my own money making. So all the little minutia things I don't do anymore. Like my wife is a huge support in that sense. So all the little
yeah,
things, yeah, she takes care of me, and I pay her a full-time salary. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, that's really important, man, because, there's only so much you can do, and then that allows you to focus on making content or expanding the business in other ways,
Exactly. Yeah, or just play
focusing
with
on
play with the
clients
cats
and
and play video games because that
yeah, or
it gets
de-stress.
neglected. Yeah, that gets neglected quite a bit here and there. So
Yeah. No, that's very important,
yeah.
taking vacations. I might take a vacation in maybe, like, a month or 2 for the first time in 3 years or something,
Yeah,
so
because you
that'll
have
be
been
nice.
uploading since I see videos of you like multiple times a week. I'm like,
Yeah, every day, pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
at one point you need to go on vacation, man. So where are you gonna go? What is
yeah.
your
Oh, my place I wanna move to is Maui.
Oh yeah, you
I've
told
been
me you want a
there
mount, right?
been
But
there a few times.
right,
Yeah, I'd like to just go there. So I'm probably just gonna go vacation there for a bit,
well, try to
couple
go
weeks.
somewhere else also because you're going to end up
Yeah,
living in Maui, and then maybe somewhere in the
potentially,
area. Yeah, if you decide to move
actually.
there, like, do you need? What
Yeah.
is that a different passport or no?
Yeah, it's America.
America. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So you have to do the whole
Yeah.
exit from Canada thing. Oh man.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe I just buy a place there, go live there for 6 months out of the year, and then
Yeah,
maybe go get a place in, like, Switzerland or something, and then just, you know.
all over. Yeah. Do you know Nomad Capitalist? That YouTube channel.
No.
Okay, so that's a
Is this?
YouTube channel for like multi-million dollar entrepreneurs, and
Okay.
they talk about how to kind of beat the system of your native country and then move
Oh,
elsewhere to buy houses, get passports, open up bank accounts, and like for me, it was a huge roadblock right in the beginning because you don't know where to start. You're literally
right.
moving to another country. You have no bank account, no international banking set up back home,
Yeah.
and now I've kind of set up everything here, and I know how to set
Yeah.
it up in other countries. It's a bit of a learning curve, but once you get used to that, you realize that oh, if I don't like it here anymore, I can literally move somewhere else within 6 months if I want to, and that gives you
Yeah.
such a liberating feeling because then you're not just a citizen; you're basically like a citizen of planet Earth. You're not bound to any country.
Right, exactly, and that's how I feel like it should be. Like, why do I have to be stuck here? I
Yeah.
can go wherever I want.
Yeah, right. So you can, with the financial means, you can make that happen. It's just a bit of a learning curve, but I'm sure you can make it happen if you want to. But like if you've only been to Maui, maybe travel around a little bit more, right? See Dubai, see Thailand, see Hong Kong,
Well,
and do fun
I've been
stuff.
I've been to a lot of
Oh,
places in
really? Okay,
Europe.
okay. Oh,
Yeah,
Europe.
my mom is German, so I used
Oh, okay.
to always go to this little town in Germany.
Mhm,
I love Europe,
mhm. Same as
but
Canada,
beyond
though.
that, no, bro, so
Assist.
much better than Canada.
Yeah.
So much better than, yeah, the food.
Yeah, of
Oh
course.
my god, it feels like real food,
Yeah.
you know? Here, everything tastes like cardboard.
Is that bad? Oh.
It doesn't taste the same as, like, I remember I went to the Subway in Italy, and it's
Mhm.
like and I don't eat Subway,
Yeah.
but I went over there, and I'm like, "Why does this taste better than, like, an actual, grocery haul from Canada?"
Yeah, it's what I
Like,
noticed in
it
America
was
also when I went to certain places that they have
same
here in
thing.
Thailand, and I'm like, "Why does the coffee taste so bad at Starbucks?" I'm like, "What the hell is going on? It tastes
Yeah,
so cheap." And it was
dude.
twice the price. So I yeah, we learned our lesson that way. But
Yeah.
it's very surprising
Fruits,
that, how much
vegetables,
yeah, the food
bread,
quality can
meat,
change.
dude. It's just so different.
Europe is great for that. Yeah, especially the South. If you go to maybe South Portugal or South Spain or Italy, those are
Yeah.
beautiful places,
Oh
man.
my
And
god.
land.
Barcelona.
Yeah, Barcelona, right? It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
And you can get
It
a
was
nice
really nice.
condominium there, and
I
overlooking.
just wanna get out of the city. I really like
Mm,
Maui because it's probably like Thailand, it's just
mm.
beach life.
Yeah,
It's just nature.
yeah. No, it's very
So,
relaxing. I thought about moving to a beach. Well, I like Bali, so we thought about moving to Bali, but then the traffic there was horrendous. Uh,
are you in the city?
Bangkok, yeah, I'm in the biggest city in,
Holy shit, you're in Bangkok? I didn't know you were in Bangkok. Oh
yeah,
my
I'm in
god.
Bangkok, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Is that the one that's very clean, where, like, you can't
Oh,
spit
no.
out gum or
No, that's Singapore, that's a little bit south, yeah.
Singapore, right. Yeah,
Singapore,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
where the alcohol is, like, stupid expensive and you can't chew gum, and
Yeah, can't
Sing
do anything. Yeah.
Singapore, basically, the last time I've been there twice, and it's basically like walking around in a giant mall.
Hmm.
The whole city. It's super clean, like, they have Orchard Road with a huge highway, and then they have these trees overlooking, so they create, like, a natural shadow. Dude, it's like Coruscant. Some places. No, literally.
So
Literally, it looks like Coruscant. Yeah, you have these malls, these giant malls, and then this big highway in the middle with Orchard Road with trees overgrowing it. And it's when you walk around there, it's like this dystopian place where everything is working well, and yeah, it's very futuristic at the same time, and it's super cool,
Blade
man.
Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner stuff. Yeah, 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 yeah. But it's also very nature-esque. So the whole city is like the city planning that they did in Singapore is probably the best out of anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's difficult to live there because I feel that the prices are a little bit expensive, but it's easy to fly into, and there's a lot of cool stuff to see and do, and they got a Universal studio there and a huge aquarium in the south, and so if you want to
Oh, neat.
take a little break, and all these hiking trails in the mountains, same for Hong Kong. So That's why I like Asia so much because there's so much variety.
Well, maybe in 2025 you can come to Japan because
Mhm.
Star Wars Celebration is going to be in Tokyo.
Sure, deal,
Yeah,
deal. And they're
that'd be cool. We can
they're
hang out.
yeah, they're opening up right now. So like a couple months ago, it
Yeah,
was very difficult to get into Japan. But if
yeah,
it's Tokyo, then I might squeeze in a little trip to what is it, Kyoto, where they have the Super Mario World.
yeah,
Oh man, I want to see that for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you just take
yeah.
the Shinkansen, the bullet train, and you're there in like 2 hours or 3 hours, I think.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've never been to Japan. I've
Oh,
never been to
really?
any Asian country. No,
Dude. But you got a little bit of Asian
no.
in you, right?
Yeah, well, I'm from Iran,
All right.
like my
Okay.
parents.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
my
Right.
birth
Right.
is
Right. Okay.
and German, and then there's some random stuff in there too,
Have you
like
been to Iran
Italian and whatever.
yourself?
Never.
Never, man. I wanted to go so
No.
bad because all the Iranians that I meet here in Thailand, super nice people, man. So the most
Yeah, a lot of
welcoming,
them are very nice people.
very friendly, and I remember
Yeah,
like the first batch of like Iranians that I met was here in Thailand. Like in Holland, you have Iranians too, but they're refugees because at that time, war and
yeah,
stuff.
they're different. Yeah,
They're a little bit different, right? So, and they're a little bit westernized already. So I met the first real Iranians coming out of Iran like the week before at one of the world championships here in Thailand. And then I was there
yeah,
alone because all my friends were competing, right? They were all part of the
yeah.
national team competing for Thailand or
Right.
backstage or stuff. So I sat in the audience to watch them. And the Iranian team was like, no, no, your back is too big. You come sit with us. You cannot see the show.
Cool.
so so we hang out, we had some dinner afterwards. Yeah, yeah, super friendly
Yeah,
people, man. Yeah.
very warm culture.
Very warm, and you see it in the bodybuilding space. A lot more Iranians are now coming into the
Oh, yeah, the like who's that Chupman?
Adi Chupan
Chupman?
and
How do you
yeah,
yeah,
Bechruz is Tabani is also
yeah,
coming. Yeah, it's
yeah. There's a
so
lot of big hitters there.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and I think
yeah,
the country is pretty open right now to get in. I saw some travel channels that go there and they had a wonderful time in Iran.
yeah, yeah. I'd like to see it. I mean, I'm sure I have family there, but
Mhm.
I just haven't been too inclined
Yeah,
lately.
it's the same as me. I
Yeah,
have some Ukrainian blood in me, a quarter
yeah,
Ukrainian, but I haven't been
yeah,
back or I haven't been there.
yeah,
My grandma was
yeah,
originally from the Ukraine, and then she got stuck in Holland after, they put up that Iron Curtain in the big wall in Germany.
yeah,
She's like,
yeah,
she came there as an aid worker from
yeah,
former USSR to Holland to help out, after the war, and then
yeah.
they divided Germany into two, and she couldn't go back. And then by
Wow,
the time she could go back in, the early 90s when they broke the wall apart,
'89. Yeah,
yeah, 89, the USSR didn't exist anymore. It was like Russia and a couple states like Belarus and Ukraine and all these
yeah.
other places. So that was super weird. So I haven't been there myself yet. But yeah, this is why I like traveling because you can see so much of the world and realize that it's vastly different, but basically everybody's still the same. You know?
Very different.
Yeah.
People are very different
Mhm.
everywhere you go.
Yeah.
I'd like to see South America too.
Yeah. I've heard good stories about it. Yeah. Yeah.
You haven't
It's
been?
No, I haven't been. No, I've only been to America. Yeah, in that part of the globe, basically. But I've seen everything in Europe, and I've seen pretty much everything in Asia. Kuwait, Dubai. I've been. Not Iran, not Iraq. There's so many
Yeah.
more places
If
to
you
visit.
if you could visit any if you could live in any other place other than where you're at now, where would you go?
Probably Dubai. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's just so
It's
fucking.
very like influencer gym friendly,
It
eh?
is. It is. Yeah,
Very.
it is. Like everybody eventually moves there. It's also very tax friendly, so you can open up a
Yeah.
business in a duty free trade zone and then shuttle all your
Yeah.
revenue through there, and you pay minimal taxes. So it's you just have to exit your native country first and maybe pay
Yeah.
like some sort of taxes on your way out, which is always when you're already set, it's quite a substantial
S-
amount. I got lucky that I
Yeah.
exited before I got successful.
Yeah, I'd be screwed.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. I talk to Derek about
I'd be
this all the time.
He wants to move?
Yeah, of course. Everybody wants to move eventually. Like I
Yeah.
left Holland when I came to Thailand in 2006. I was 23, which now looking back on it, I was so immature. I was such a little kid,
Oh,
you know?
of course.
And then and,
Yeah,
and
it's
then I
the
came to
age.
yeah, then I came to Thailand. You can literally do whatever, and live everything that you want. You can go to the gym and go to the restaurant and meet girls and everything. Everybody's super friendly and outgoing, and I had a great time. And then it takes some time to exit Holland. So that happened in 2012, basically. So it took me 6 years of going back and
Yeah.
forth. Then in 2013, I met my now wife, and then you
Yeah.
find a reason to stay, you know. But
Of course.
I
Yeah.
think if I didn't meet my wife, I'd probably be in Dubai. Yeah,
Can you speak the native tongue?
a little bit. Yeah, I speak a little bit of
But they
Thai.
all speak English, right?
No, it's actually getting worse.
Oh,
Yeah, 10 years ago, the literacy was better, but I think a lot of Thais, they understand that, you know, the tourism industry can only get them so far. And if they
yeah.
stick with their own and they try to go corporate or do their own social media, now it's a lot of Thais are on social media and they're banking so hard. It's like they're making millions in dollars a
Yeah.
month, you
Yeah.
know, so they
Per
don't need,
month?
yeah, per month. Yeah.
Jeez.
I know several girls that, well, OnlyFans, you know, it's a different avenue,
Yeah,
obviously.
well, of course,
But
yeah.
they literally, like, make, like, $50,000 a month, you know? And then I know a couple
That's
other
great.
YouTubers that, you know, that do 1,000,000 a month based on endorsements, and they're, you know, they got, like, 8,000,000, 12,000,000 followers. And it's all
Yeah,
time.
that'd be amazing.
It's all time, you know? They bank super hard, you know? So I think that generation realized, the new generation realized, okay, the tourism industry, which was the biggest industry in Thailand before, is now subpar of what they want, and
Yeah.
you can get the money anywhere else. The same as, you know, being employed versus going on social media and kind of driving your own business. Um, so Thailand
Blows
is
my
no
mind.
longer a third world country. It's very developed.
No, yeah, I didn't think it was for a while now.
Yeah,
It's probably changed.
yeah,
Everyone's always it's like a hotspot destination. People are always going there.
yeah, yeah, and it's a lot of fun. You know, Thailand. You see people come and go, and some people that like it here, they stay. And you know, if you set up something online, because it's difficult to work here, you know, you need a degree, and you know, salaries only go so far. But if you have a business online, you can basically do whatever. You know.
Yeah, I mean, so we'd be fine.
Yeah, we'd
Like
be
you're fine.
totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be totally
Yeah.
fine. And if you get
Yeah.
your international banking set up properly, then you're basically here as a tourist, but full time. You just spend your money here and you contribute to the
Yeah.
economy, and they love that. Yeah, they love that. Of course, bring
Huh.
more money in for Thailand. You know, strengthen our
Yeah,
economy.
right. Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah, that'd
sure.
be cool.
Yeah. So
Huh.
this the hard part is like importing lightsabers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a bit tricky, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got a connection at somebody who does importation for me. So whatever you want, you can basically ship it to them, but it takes 4 weeks to arrive, and they'll take care
Okay.
of any. It's like a service, you know. But if you order
Okay.
something by post, DHL, I will sit there in a hot warehouse for weeks. Say, what is
Oh,
this? This is a
jeez.
lightsaber. Is this a dangerous weapon? They have no idea.
Well, in
Well,
your
yeah,
imagination,
yeah. If you have, you know, you might
if you're
lose.
6 years old,
Yeah, you might lose an arm.
yeah, or a leg or
Yeah,
something.
or like.
Be careful.
Mm.
That'll be the day when we have those.
So
Jeez.
yeah, importation stuff is difficult, but like I think for you at one point, if you kind of step back from the YouTube game, if you want to, and travel around a bit, you'll be maybe Maui won't be such a viable option because you'll like it somewhere else. Like it somewhere else a
Yeah,
lot more. Yeah.
no, definitely. I mean, eventually, I'd like to just have a few apartments or homes I could just
Hmm.
bounce around because I
Right.
get bored pretty easy.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So it'd be nice. And eventually, I want to have a family too. You know, I want to have
Mm.
kids. So, do you think, like with TRT at my dose, I would
Mm.
need to go on proper PCT?
Yeah. It
Probably
would be
not,
good
eh?
to add in HCG now.
Really?
Yeah, just to keep the
Now, eh?
testicles. Yeah, just to keep the testicles functioning throughout. Plus, you'll feel better because you have a better neurosteroid balance compared to just TRT. Like, I feel that TRT is just part of the picture. Okay, you replace the testosterone, but what
Yeah.
about the estradiol? What about the DHEA? What about the pregnenolone? What about all these intermediary hormones? So
Yeah.
you either need to go to full HRT or add in a couple things just to optimize these other. Because now your testosterone is higher, but this is kind of subpar or goes lower. So now you create an
Right.
imbalance.
Yeah.
So I think in your case, maybe add in HCG and DHEA and pregnenolone,
Yeah.
and then see how you feel based on that. Not
Yeah.
sure what the availability or prescription
Oh, it's so
things are
hard to get
there.
anything, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to get. Well, I have a consultation with a naturopath
Hmm.
who prescribes literally everything, and he's
Good.
very hormone pro. Like he's very pro hormone
Hmm.
based. So, but he's like backed up until the end of June, and I've been
Oh yeah.
in the wait list for like 2 months now.
This socialist
So
healthcare, man.
yeah, yeah, dude, I would pay. I would pay. I hope I could pay for it. I just want to pay for a doctor. you
That's
know?
why I like Thailand. I can call the hospital, get an appointment tomorrow, and be in surgery the next day.
Dude.
Yeah, if I want to. Yeah, just a matter
Yeah.
of paying. And of course, it's not everybody has the luxury to pay. That's why this the healthcare
No.
system is set up like that. But when you do, and you're very very busy, then it's better if you can pay a little bit more to revolve it around your schedule than to be dependent on theirs.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if I just had the option at least.
Hmm. Yeah. Now for that,
But
you're gonna have to travel.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know I love the fact that Thailand you can just walk in. Same with Mexico, apparently.
Yeah,
You just walk in.
Mexico, Dubai, India. India is probably the cheapest place for walking.
Dubai, same?
Yeah, same. You just walk in, you get it done. But it's very expensive, so that's why most of the guys from Dubai they actually come to Thailand to do medical tourism here.
Oh, I
It's basically
see.
anywhere in the Western world besides maybe Australia, where you can get blood work on the fly with a with a
Yeah.
referral. But everywhere else, Europe, America, Canada, America is a little bit more liberated now with the TRT clinic.
America is.
Yeah,
It's much easier to get tests there than in Canada. In
but
Canada, it's very difficult.
yeah,
Like I wanted to increase my dose and
mm,
my doctor wouldn't have it.
no,
So
I know.
hopefully, this guy, he's very pro sport TRT, which is
Right.
like 200 milligrams starting.
Hmm.
So I'd like to see how that feels.
You're gonna blow up.
Yeah, maybe if I actually train.
Yeah.
which I'm doing now. Ron's kind of getting on my ass. He's like, come on, dude. Like I can
Yeah.
just see him sometimes, and I'm like regressing in workouts sometimes, and he's like,
Is he coming?
okay,
Is he coming to your place or you train at his gym?
no, I go to his gym.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
go to
got a
his
nice
gym.
gym.
Amazing gym. Amazing gym. Have you
No, but I've
have you
seen like
trained there?
he's with Mutant, right? So he does Mutant on a Mission videos. So
Yeah.
once in a while he does videos in his gym. And of course, I know him from the bodybuilding space. I met Ron Partlow at Mr. Olympia. Super nice guy.
Yeah,
And
yeah. He was telling me about you guys, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's funny.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so we met there a little bit, and he's got a great gym, obviously. So it's a good place to train. Yeah, and he's been
Dude,
in the
there's
sport
no
for decades.
forever. He was
Yeah,
like 330, 330. He
yeah,
said at his biggest.
yeah.
It was
Before it turned
insane.
prone. Yeah. Yeah, and then he had some quad injuries, unfortunately, and that's usually the exit for most of
Yeah,
us. We kind of
yeah,
destroy ourselves, and then we have to,
yeah.
slim down a little bit. But he's still in shape, man. He's one of the more
Oh,
shredded
dude,
guys I
he's
saw in
he's like
the
240,
yeah, the
two
Mr.
fifty,
Olympia.
lean.
Uh huh.
Yeah, and all he does now, he trains, but he really likes flatland biking.
Oh, really? Yeah, I remember.
So like always on his story, he's like doing like tricks and stuff on his bike, and like, there's like this huge 240-pound shredded dude like just doing these like weird flips. I'm like, what the hell, man? How do you do this?
You always need a new passion, man.
Yeah,
After going all in on this bodybuilding journey, then you need something to go all in too, because it's the only way
yeah,
you
and
know,
that's
right?
that's a good topic we could discuss. Is
Mhm,
like a lot of guys in the gym, I feel like they get so, and this was my problem too when I
mhm.
was powerlifting. Is like my deadlift was like everything to me. That's
Yeah.
all I cared about.
Mhm.
That's all I had. That's all I wanted. I got a big deadlift. I don't care about anything else. I'll work at the supplement store making minimum wage. What do I care?
Yeah.
Like I
Free
don't give a crap.
creatine.
Yeah, free creatine, man. Like, oh, supplement samples, awesome, cool.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care. And there were times I was dating women and I was in these relationships and they were like, let's go ice skating, let's go hiking, let's go
Can't.
do.
Can't.
And I would say no. And they're like, why? And I'm like, oh, what if I injure myself? I got a competition coming up.
Yeah.
I got a meet coming up. I can't risk that. Or like, oh, I don't want to burn the calories. I'm trying to gain weight right now.
Yeah, no sex before lift day. Maybe
Yeah.
not. Yeah, maybe not that extreme. I can't miss
Yeah.
out on that.
I would, yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah. No, there were times, man. There were times where I was going for a big lift and I'm like, no, I want to be really aggressive and just not relieve myself, not have sex. So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But that was short lived.
Of course, yeah. You do
So
it twice
how do
and
you
then no way.
yeah, no. So but yeah, like every time you do, every time you nut, you're just like really calm and like I'm like you don't have that drive
No, because
anymore
you just
for like a few
released.
hours.
Yeah, so you better
Yeah.
keep that as a release at the platform,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
on
and
the
they don't
lift,
get they don't get that.
on the lift, guys, on
Yeah.
the lift. Yeah.
Disqualified.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
white
it.
lights, eh?
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, 3
shit.
white lights.
Yeah.
Um so how would you like to your followers, how would you suggest that they create a lifestyle
Mhm,
if they're all about the gym, even mentally, to maybe have a bit of a balance? Because I feel like it is really important
mhm.
and like we said, even for our work, if we take a bit of a break, it helps us, if anything,
Yeah.
because when we get back to it, we're fresh.
Well, you need a second hobby. Like you have Star Wars theory, and I have
Yeah.
my YouTube channel. And even though my YouTube channel revolves around the same thing I do for my passion, it's
Yeah.
you need something to focus your attention and effort onto that it becomes more all-consuming than lifting, which is a
Right.
slow transition. But once it happens, you realize, like, wait a minute, now I don't have to think about buying another kit of growth. I can buy all the kits of growth and buy a house on
Yeah.
the same time because now your business is thriving. Right? But before, when I was a meathead, I'd literally have to think about these little expenses like, I can't really afford this. So, okay, I won't buy lifting straps so I can buy more gear. Right. That's how
Yeah.
bad it gets. And a lot of guys are in
Yeah.
this position because I see it in the comment section all the time. How can you afford all this stuff? I said, well, I focus my efforts on things that make money before
Yeah.
lifting. I'm a husband first, then a businessman, and then a semi-retired bodybuilder still going to the gym for fitness purposes. So
Right.
I think you need like an outlet where you can channel all this fitness energy into elsewhere, and then hopefully that other channel makes you money. And that can be the same thing, like I did. Like I talk about my fitness and drug experiences and monetize it. But if you like Star Wars, then by all means, I mean, you proved it
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
anybody, right? You let it go, and now you're one of the biggest and the most well known. And and if that's chess, okay, go play chess.
Yeah.
But do it 100% or Lego. I know guys that stop training just to start a Lego channel, and now they have the biggest,
Yeah.
the biggest and baddest Lego channel, or do video games. But you have to
Yeah.
whatever you do, you just got to realize that there's a lot of competition, and you have to be the absolute best. Otherwise, you're not going to stand out.
Yeah.
You know, you,
That's the thing I hear about the most. It's like, oh, I want to make a YouTube channel, but there's just so much. It's so saturated. It's like, don't worry about that.
yeah. If you're good,
Don't think
if you're
about it.
good, you don't have to worry. But if you're average, then maybe become good first, and then
Yeah,
But you can also
that
learn
would
on the
help.
job. You can learn on the job. I'll be fair, because I learned a lot since starting this YouTube channel. But it's exiting from hardcore bodybuilding. It's either an injury, right? Whether that's the muscle tear or some sort of organ that failed, or or a kid.
There's some sort of organ that
Yeah, oh,
failed.
dude, that's the only way that these guys stop. Yeah, they got
Jesus.
kidney failure, and they just keep pushing and
Oh
pushing and
god.
pushing, and then the kidney pops, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, maybe I have to stop." And then they turn that into a business. There's multiple guys. I'm not going to name any names, but
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
lot of guys that that they popped something, they broke something internally, and then they realized, okay, now it's time to really monetize it because I can't go to the gym, and then they do quite well. So,
yeah.
or having a kid, where they realize like, oh, I can't spend all this money on my own drugs. I gotta, buy baby food and
Right.
formula and that
Baby
kind of stuff.
formula and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
that's
Right.
expensive too. So, and if that's not going to happen, not one of these big three, remove all the mirrors, go on TRT, and then so you don't have to look into yourself in the mirror, watch yourself shrink and get smaller and smaller, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, which is hard. But after you've gone through it a couple times, it's actually okay. But if you've never gone
Oh,
through it,
dude.
then the first time you're like, oh, you literally go bald,
Yeah.
losing your gains.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Yeah,
I went both. And for a powerlifter, like losing your strength is the same as a bodybuilder losing their
yeah,
muscle.
hmm
Because a lot of powerlifters aren't necessarily huge. Like you've seen a lot of the skinny guys, and they just have really strong tendons and a good CNS, and they could pull
yeah, I can
or
pull right
squat or
through.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with
Um,
Pete Rubish, one of the earliest deadlifters?
dude,
Yeah,
I interviewed Pete over 10 years ago. Yeah, and I know him for
really.
a long time.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
funny. He's still in the
Yeah,
YouTube
man.
game. I did a couple
I
interviews
know.
with him
Yeah.
as well. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he left it all behind. Right, he went off cycle. He had a kid with his
I know. Yeah.
wife, and he's still lifting, but not to the same intensity. And he's focusing his efforts on business also. And it's I think you just needed something else to channel your strength aspirations to.
I know, and, when I was competing, he was, like, the dude I one of the dudes I looked up to, like him, there was Brandon Lilly, there were so many, like, there was George Lehman at the time who I think, like, moved to Thailand or something,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's in Cambodia. I met him twice. He's a super nice guy.
Oh,
Yeah, super
oh,
nice guy.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There were so many of those guys, man. It was, like, back in the 2010 to 2016 days, it was, like,
Right.
peak. It was like peak. No one really power lifted, but it like the people who did were like die hard about it and
Exactly.
crazy.
Yeah.
And like Chris Hickson and Eric Lillybridge and Ernie and all these dudes. It was a wild time, and I just remember Pete was just like, you knew when he was on Tren.
Oh yeah.
You knew when this like, and he was just a freaking phenomenon, man. Like it was amazing to watch him lift. I used to watch him lift in his videos before I'd go to the gym because it would
Right.
just pump me up.
Right.
And now I see like he's completely, done a 180 and changed
Mhm.
his whole lifestyle and everything. But I have to wonder, with his test levels now being shot, and
Mhm.
I saw that his latest post, they're
Right.
back to like 550 or something, and so
Yeah.
they're
It takes.
finally coming
Yeah.
back.
Finally coming. It takes forever,
Years,
man. It takes forever. It took him 2
years.
years. Yeah. Yeah.
But like, don't you think at that point TRT would be beneficial, and you're actually doing your body a disservice
I told
and
I want you.
damaging
So
yourself?
you wanted to compete in a drug tested or natural, quote unquote, natural federation, which
Yeah,
he did, I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
And then I told him, said, "Hey, dude, come back because it's at this point you're just torturing yourself, you know."
yeah. Your
And you,
ligaments, your
yeah,
brain,
well, you already
everything.
had your kid, and then part of our identity is still the lifts. It doesn't have to be that crazy on a gram of Tren or whatever, but
No,
as long as you're on a little bit of TRT and life is so much easier, like you experienced, then and
yeah,
plus TRT is like or HRT is like part of the entrepreneur stack, So
yeah.
the more dopamine and
Anti-aging kind
yeah,
of.
all right,
Yeah,
and the more
yeah, yeah,
productivity
yeah,
you have, the better it is for business. So, Pete, if
yeah.
you're watching, join the club again. Right? It's my turn now to be off cycle, but you've earned your right to get back on cycle, or at least TRT.
Yeah, like, I mean, why not just like 150 milligrams, like a nothing dose, pretty
Mhm.
much?
Yeah,
I
but
think it would be healthy.
it would feel so much better than what he's doing now.
Oh, I'm sure dude, I'm sure he would feel great. And he's
Yeah.
still a big, that's just crazy. He's still so huge. With
When it's earned, it doesn't go away. Like anywhere I
yeah,
go, people think that I'm huge. Even though I'm
yeah.
91 and a half, 92 kilos. It's so much smaller than
Well,
before. Yeah.
that's what Ron said too. He said you're a big dude.
Yeah, but then I was 105 on cycle. Yeah, you have to be
Oh,
booked
okay.
for the Mr. Olympia. Hopefully, I can get my wife pregnant before the Mr. Olympia. And then all I need is 8 weeks. 8 weeks before I
What?
go to the US so I can get some of the size back.
Yeah, so then we won't be the same size when we meet each other.
Uh,
I'll be done 200 and I'll start climbing and then
yeah. Well, it doesn't matter, right? But it's like, I still love being 240, man. I love being like over 100 kilos and large and in charge and thick
How
and
tall are you?
strong. 5'9". Yeah, 175
We're
centimeters.
same height.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never been over 208, 210.
Oh,
But
really?
like a fat 210.
Fat 210, yeah.
Like a power lifter 210, you
So
know?
the highest I've been is 255, 260 at the end of the day, and it's pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, at our height, man, that's
No. Ron is a little bit taller, right? I think he's like
oh, dude, he's like
six
it's like
two,
6'1" or something,
6'1", yeah. Yeah, he's a tall
something,
dude. So
six
like
two,
300 he could carry well, but you ask him the
6'2",
same
yeah.
question, he'd be probably, I was miserable, but that's what you needed to do, in the off season.
Yeah, he said 330 was, s pretty uncomfortable.
It's a full-time job, yeah. I like 225
Yeah,
lean, yeah. So I'm at the same time that I'm off, I'm trying to stay as lean as possible. So I got all these fucking salty dog lines in my face, pug lines, like those dogs, that they have all the
oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's only gonna get
yeah,
worse. And then hopefully if I can get my wife pregnant, let's say by August, which isn't unrealistic based on how my fertility parameters are improving.
that's good.
Yeah, then I got about 8 weeks, 6 weeks. That's all I need for the Olympia.
That's that's all Vigorous Steve needs.
Yeah, the muscle
Yeah,
memory is in dude, I remember last time I came off cycle for 9 months. I had to fix
yeah.
that non-alcoholic fatty liver disease issue, which took a little bit longer than expected, and I shrank down to, like, 88 kilos. I was emaciated.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, I was fucking emaciated because I had to starve the fat off of my liver. So anyway, I went back on at TRT, and then I blew up
Yeah,
to, like, 97 in a couple of weeks.
yeah,
I'm like, "Holy shit," and I
yeah,
was still lean. Man, what's going on? And then before I knew it, I was 110. So
yeah,
it goes really, really fast. So my goal right
yeah.
now is just fertility and stay healthy and stay as lean as possible, which I have lines in my glutes. So I'm good.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I got lines. Surprising. I went to Bali and then I pulled my pants down after a night of alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I looked
Oh,
at
yeah,
like,
you're gonna be
yeah,
beautiful.
you're gonna kind of,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. So
So you have your kid, let's say,
mm,
when you do, you're ready to go back. What are you gonna do?
I just TRT to
What
start.
are you gonna
Start
take?
low, and
Oh,
then
that's it?
if I
Oh, okay.
want to build it back up, yeah, it might be test and primo, test primo anavar. You know, now I say probably no GH, no insulin because it makes me sleepy. But you never know how I feel at that time. Um, you know, but I'll just slowly start and ramp things up, and then see where I land. Which is probably going to be less than the previous cycle because I notice that every time I do a cycle, I need less uh,
Yeah.
PEDs or my aspirations are lower. You know, it's kind of like
Right, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah.
the some of the crypto charts. Right? Every time the peak is lower, and at one
Yeah.
point it flatlines, and they are just on TRT.
Do you administer 3 times a week, or
No, I
are you
like every day.
UTRT, or
I just like every day,
Oh,
just a little microdose because then you don't need an aromatase inhibitor. Not that I'm against aromatase inhibitors, but it's another drug in
yeah.
the cocktail.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't take them. Yeah.
and I do sub-Q shots now, so just a little bit, and it has very steady release over time. Yeah, and of course, before I wouldn't be able to do that, but because you're pinning 1 milliliter or 2 milliliters, whatever, every day, you can't
Right.
put that much away in your subcutaneous space. So you have to go
How do you
intramuscular.
do like, I mean, I've it's such a novel concept. All of this is kind
Mm.
of novel, but, um, like, I know Ron says he likes to do that too,
Mhm.
now, but then I saw, like, Derek's video being like, you can create an abscess underneath, or you can get an infection, or
No,
so I'm like,
I talked about this with Derek for a couple of years ago because we were going back and forth, on the back end just to, try to find out the best practices. And I was against sub-Q shots because it leaves a little bit of fat marble, right? A little this
right.
oily deposit. And of course, if you
Yeah.
go high in the injection volume, just purely thinking like a meathead bodybuilder, I'm like, okay, well, where are you going to put this 2 milliliters of oil when your body fat is like, when everything is like
Nothing.
this thick? Where are you going to put it?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
right.
but I didn't realize that most people are not like that. And I didn't realize that most people don't inject 1 or 2 or 3 milliliters per day. So it's
No.
it's just this small bubble that I was living in, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So now I
yeah.
realized, like, wait a minute, subcutaneous shots is good for TRT or maybe a moderate cycle. Like Dr. Chrysler was one of the first ones to introduce that over 20 years ago, I think. One of the TRT experts of that day. And he said, just do sub Q. You have the most stable levels. And people are like, and including myself, like, that's stupid because, you can't do a cycle like this and it will not get absorbed and will just stay in the subcutaneous space. And depending on which carrier oil you use, like MCT oil, right, what
Mhm.
most of the compounding pharmacies use nowadays, that absorbs very fast. So actually, it's preferred to do sub-Q because then you have more stable levels compared to intramuscular because that peaks. And then in this peak, you get a lot of aromatization and DHT production, which causes hair loss, which you and me don't have to
Well,
care about. Yeah, yeah,
too late.
whatever. Yeah,
Too
whatever.
late for me. And you're the golden boy. You don't even get affected.
No, like I have a little
That's
bit here.
amazing.
This is all real,
Dude,
man.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
it's.
so cool.
But
That's,
I got terrible acne, so I have to be 100% on point in my diet. If I look at chocolates,
mm,
pimples, and I got maybe one or two here from the holidays still. But it's
oh, interesting.
everybody gets something, and I have gyno, right? So you get one of the big three. You get hair loss, you get gyno, or you get acne. Yeah, one of these three. So I didn't get
I'd
hair
rather get
loss.
hair loss, but I guess because it's already happened to me, so I'm like, "Whatever."
Yeah, yeah. I don't have to deal with the. I should do gyno surgery also. But the weird thing is, like, the leaner I get, the less the gyno is getting. So I'm probably going to postpone it and just get as shredded as possible, and then see how bad the
Hmm,
gyno actually is. Yeah, I was supposed to have gyno surgery on the 11th, so that's 2 days from now. But I'm probably just going to postpone it because it's
how long are you gonna be out for if you do?
so I have to do like the gyno surgery. That's about 4 weeks, 6 weeks out of the gym. But what I really have to do is a leg surgery. I had a motorcycle accident in 2007 in Thailand.
Oh, jeez.
Stupid me. Yeah. So I broke my leg and I had to put a plate in. And that plate has been there for 15 years now. And that means that if they remove the screws, but the screws can't come out because the bone is so thick and dense, which, well, I did take drugs that increase bone mineral density. So it wouldn't
Right.
surprise me that I would
Yeah.
have to drill off the cap, the screw cap, grind it off, and then drill through the bone. So I've had three, well, two second opinions and one main doctor, and they all said the same thing. So if they have to drill bore out the holes, then I have 7 large holes between 0 to 7 larger holes, and then the problem with breakage, re-breakage, and then I'll be out of commission because then I'll have to put a rod through my leg. So this is why I've been procrastinating for 15 years about getting this done. The longer I wait, the worse it gets. So
why don't you just leave it in?
yeah, I could leave it. Yeah.
What happens?
Nothing. I'm a partial transformer. That's it.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares?
And it doesn't set off the X-ray machine at the airport.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
Who
all good.
cares?
Yeah, so
You're fine.
I,
Yeah,
I
you're like
always wanted to
Wolverine.
do like schedule the gyno surgery and the leg surgery at the same time. And now that I'm off cycle trying to have a kid, I figured, okay, now's the time to do it. And now the time is here, and I'm scared. And I realized that the gyno surgery isn't as urgent, and the leg surgery is maybe more risk than is good for me. You know, so yeah. So I'm still a little bit conflicted. I'm not sure where to go, what to do.
What happens if you don't do it?
We'll just stay in there until I die, and then it'll be a nice memory.
Does it limit you in any way?
No, I can squat and train, and the gyno is nobody sees it. Like I'm the one who sees it because you're so superficial that
vain. Yeah.
But the weird thing is, like, I have a little bit of fat on the lower chest, and now that I'm getting leaner, the gyno is actually shrinking. So now, before it used to be like this thick, but that's with the fat.
Yeah.
And now it's this thick. And
the fat's just going.
Right. And then, of course, the tissue remains. But I'm wondering what it looks like if I'm like 6% body fat, how bad it looks. Because I remember the last time it was 6% body fat, it looked pretty bad. But I think I shrank it with about 50% in the meantime with some best practices.
Yeah.
Best practices. And
what are you now? 10%? 10%?
Yeah, about 10. Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
10. Yeah. So if I can continue dieting for a couple more weeks and I just keep training and following the same diet, then who knows? Maybe it won't look as bad. And then I save myself $15,000, $17,000 worth of operation.
It's that expensive?
Yeah, because I'm stubborn, so I want to do the gyno surgery and the leg surgery in the same hospital at the same time. So that's a full anesthesia, hospital admittance for 1 or 2 days.
Okay, so
I have to book the room for 4 hours in total, right? So
yeah, that's a big surgery, man. That's gonna be a. If you do them both, what's the recovery time until you're back in the gym, like ready to go?
8 weeks, 10 weeks.
Okay.
With peptides, maybe 6 to 8.
With everything, yeah, BPC and everything.
BPC 500, yeah, 8 weeks. I'm just scared of the re-breakage.
Don't do it. What's the pro if you do it? Like, why? What's good about it if you do it?
I know now is the time to do it because I'm off cycle, not training hard. So, do you mind if I go to the bathroom?
There's no benefit.
Do you mind if I go to the bathroom real quick?
No, go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I want to say, do you want to go too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude, I'm like a camel.
Okay, give me a second. So when you live in Asia, right, you're constantly drinking water because the air conditioning is just taking all the saliva out of your mouth. So,
well, I have to do the same because I just sit in this chair, so my lymphatic system isn't really working.
Oh.
I'm not moving around.
You don't do any cardio or something?
Like
come on.
I have really long sex. That's what I count.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like 2 hours long.
Okay. But you're on all fours usually, or at least on 2. So you gotta stimulate those calves.
No, I'm moving around.
Yeah, you move. Dishwasher today? Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's turn it on first. Yeah, turn on the fucking.
Yeah. I mean, I have a standing desk. That's helped.
Yeah, that's helped a lot. Yeah,
but I just noticed that some days I wake up and like my whole face is just puffy and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a common issue with a lot of guys that are on TRT, but sitting and working a lot. They the hands and the feet and the face, they kind of get watery. So I always do 30 minutes of fasted cardio, mandatory every day. Right. So I haven't done it yet, but I didn't eat any food, so I'll do it after we're done here. Just gotta move around. Yeah, just elliptical.
Just bike or
elliptical.
Oh,
elliptical. Yeah, I have an elliptical at home. That's the one I didn't sell. We have a treadmill and an elliptical, and then I lock up all the cats, and then because otherwise they're gonna play with it. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, otherwise they're gonna underneath, and then squashed him, so
Oh, jeez.
yeah, and it's low impact on the knees and the wrist, so you can
Yeah,
just I go to town, heart rate 140, 145 for 30 minutes. Then, is the best for leg gains? Probably not, but who cares
yeah.
at this point?
Well, who cares, dude?
Yeah, and
Your
then
heart health is
yeah, I
important.
get my heart rate up and get healthy, and then this is how I stay lean. Yeah. You can buy standing discs. I'll send you a link after we're done. There's a or sorry, like a standing treadmill. It's super wide. Well, you can't see it on screen. Like it's like 1.5 meters wide, and it fits right
Yeah.
underneath the disc. And they're like maybe $2,000 or something. So it's a little bit more expensive than a regular treadmill. But then if you have a lot of desk space, you can literally walk side to side while you're walking.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So Chase Irons, one of my good friends, he does a lot of live streams. He's also in the bodybuilding space, and
Yeah,
he's got a standing desk and a treadmill underneath.
yeah.
And he bought one of the biggest, the widest ones, and it doesn't have any handles or anything, so you can just go back to his 2 or 3 computers that he has set up and keep walking.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, and then he
What
just
is it, like a multi-directional one, or?
no, 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 no. Otherwise, we're gonna play VR games, so it's just one direction.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, he's in
So it's
Skyrim or
yeah,
something.
yeah, right. Those you can buy. I think they're like 5,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just buy a
Yeah, those
multi.
are really cool.
Yeah,
It's like Ready Player One.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, those are real now. So, but this one you can just set up under the desk and you can roll it away if you want, if you just want to sit down. So I think if
Yeah,
when I build a new house, a couple of years down the line, I'll definitely get one of those and then put it up in the studio with a standing desk, and then I'll just walk for an hour, 2 hours a day when I got most of my important work done. And then
yeah,
because it does make you a little bit brain fogged when you do cardio for that's a long time.
yeah. But it's. I just feel sluggish,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I played really pretty high level tennis for
Mm.
2 hours every week, which
Okay.
isn't enough, but it's at least something. And then I go for bike rides here and there,
No, that's good.
and then other forms of cardio. But
Yeah, of
yeah,
course. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, if you can
yeah.
wake up your significant
Um,
other, it's like, babe, it's 8 o'clock. Or, well, in our time, it's like 1 o'clock, right? Babe, it's 1 o'clock.
yeah,
Yeah, you got
yeah,
to get my session in, and then,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Why not?
yeah, why not? Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I also just for health reason and for the pump in the gym, I take 5 milligrams of Cialis every 2 to 3 days. Um, and I find that just really benefits my overall health and
Yeah.
feeling and blood flow with
Hmm.
everything. It's like in the gym, it's night and day.
Yeah. No, I really like
It's crazy.
Cialis. Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
use it right
yeah,
now because I don't need it. My blood pressure would go way too low, right? Because I do all the other stuff right now to get my blood pressure in range, like the magnesium, the potassium, and the cardio. And
yeah,
so I might use Cialis here and there recreationally, but
yeah,
not
yeah.
consistently. Yeah.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Do you just do 5 milligrams, or do you any more
Yeah.
than that?
5. Yeah. When I was on
Yeah,
cycle, I would do maybe 10, 20 sometimes before, bigger body parts because then you really want to pump. But, the
right.
funny thing is, like, things I used to do, I probably replaced with something else because, there's new methods to increase the pump. Or, I mean, you got injectable pump products out there nowadays, and those
Did
are
you ever take Plasmajet back in the day?
um,
Remember Gaspari Nutrition released this thing called Plasma. It was like
I
freaking 16 pills before your workout or
think it was
something.
all
And
nitric oxide boosting stuff. I
yeah,
don't think I
something
took
like
it,
that.
no. Unless
Yeah.
Gaspari had some secret ingredients, like some of their products had Dianabol in it back in the day.
Yeah, I know. He did have some secret
Yeah.
ingredients in some of his products. Yeah.
Suddenly you're, like, super puffed, and you're like, "Why am I so strong?" This shit is really
Yeah.
working. You do your
Like
blood.
D-ball in his,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I know.
The
Yeah.
good old days. Yeah, that's how we
Good old days.
that's how we help athletes to, when they fail the doping test, they use a scapegoat on one of the supplement, products.
Oh, it was the 1MR. It
Yeah,
was
exactly, yeah. I
yeah.
took that, but
Yeah.
they didn't say it on the label. In reality, they were actually taking Dianabol, and they just, send it to, research and development for product testing and then look for a product that actually had Dianabol in it so they could run it.
they,
Yeah,
they shut down a whole company
exactly, yeah, but that's how they do
just
it.
to save their own skin.
Yeah, that's how they
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, you find a company that is a tainted
Wait, are you
supplement.
serious?
Yeah,
I thought you were joking
no,
around.
that's common use, man. So you know
Holy shit.
you just start testing random supplements to look at which one are tainted, and then when you find one, you purchase a decent amount of that batch, so they could test it later on, and then whatever they're spiking it with, you can use that as a scapegoat. And this happened.
Wow.
Yeah, this happened quite a bit. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Of
That's
course, they will never
crazy.
say, they will blame the supplement, but this is what goes
Of
on, in the
course.
back end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a hormone space. Crazy people. Yeah. Don't get too
Yeah, I mean,
involved. Don't get too involved.
no, no, I mean, well, up until a few years ago, I didn't even know that athletes took, like, TRT and stuff like that. I'm like, "Oh, no, they're all natural." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, no, no,
Like, pro athletes getting paid, like, 20, 30 million a year or yeah, no.
no, no, you're gonna take something. It's not
I
only
want Cristiano Ronaldo's stack or
yeah,
whatever
he's probably I
he's
mean,
so healthy looking.
all these guys got private doctors, with the IV treatment and that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't believe that there's no drug testing in football, so they can get away with
Really?
anything. No, I don't think so. No.
Oh, huh.
I've never heard a football player get popped for, but maybe it's because I don't really follow it. But it's usually
They just run.
it's just usually the Olympics. There's very scrutinous drug testing involved there, and even there, they're just drug free on the day of the competition. You know,
Right.
because it's
Yeah.
it's it's yeah, it's too much money and prestige involved.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Huh,
yeah.
interesting.
So that's how everybody gets their dream shattered when you grow up. Like, wait a minute, these guys were on drugs. You're like, fuck. And then a couple of years later, you
Yeah.
find yourself on drugs too.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, all my life, I just made a video on my gym channel, and I was, like, talking about how all my life I've been so elitist about dudes who are on juice.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I don't need that." Like, and now I'm taking some tests, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "You know what? Like, I was wrong the whole time in my life.
Yeah.
Like I was just being a jerk just because I was insecure."
Yeah.
And, like, it genuinely is so much more beneficial
Mhm.
just taking a little bit of test.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what, 2 grams would be like, but, uh
That's actually so there's like a bliss point, let's say 250, 300, and then after that it's all downhill again. Then you just mostly cope with, side effects, brain fog and mood, depending on what you run. Even though 2 grams a test was, highly fun to do, like I wouldn't be
Mhm.
able to do that now because my whole business would literally fall apart.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because I'd be too
Just
focused on bodybuilding. I'd be, so much androgen in your system that all you want to do is train and pose, do cardio and get
yeah,
shredded because you're so
yeah,
strong and you want to, but it costs me hours of the day. And now I go to the gym for 1.5 hours. I eat when I'm hungry. And of course, I
yeah,
still eat meals fresh, but it's not as involving. Like eating 3, 4 meals per day is significantly less than eating 6 large meals per day, which all take 30 minutes to eat. That's
yeah,
3 hours per day just eating.
and you find you're still maintaining, obviously good
Decent
size.
enough. Yeah, good enough. Good enough.
Like, you're happy. I mean, you got your business.
Yeah.
Where do you see everything going? Like, what's a goal that you have in mind that you want to achieve business-wise in the next 5, 10 years?
I know enough that it kind of runs itself. Right? My initial goal was to kind of retire around 40 years old, which I can if I want to. But
Yeah,
now I got the YouTube channel going and it's benefiting so many people. So like, my investments, right? Cryptocurrency, whatever appreciating assets I have, those are, it's enough. It's enough
yeah,
to take a step back. And but I like to,
cool.
bring that higher because it's enough to retire for me and my wife, but not enough to retire for me and my wife and maybe 1 or 2 kids. Right. But I think, realistically, I might need, 1 or 2 years to really get that set up. And then just, I don't know, want to do a childhood properly. Maybe not mine, but then my kids do that properly. That's
Yeah,
like I mean, and everything else I kind of accomplish. It sounds weird to say, but, you know,
yeah,
the other things I can accomplish require money, like buying a bigger house. Okay. But that's not really an
right.
accomplishment. Right. So it's just
No, it's just
spending
an
money.
upgrade.
Just an upgrade. Right. I have a
Not
house.
not even.
Yeah.
It's like a, accessory.
Exactly. Right. So, I traveled the world, uh, you know, job done. I'm married to my dream wife, job done, right? The
Yeah,
high school sweetheart, even though I met her like when I was 30. Yeah. So, but she's the perfect partner for me. So I'm very, very
yeah,
happy, very fortunate that we were able to meet each
yeah,
other.
yeah,
I grew the YouTube channel, became a respected member of the fitness industry, which I realized
yeah,
after the Olympia, even though I've never competed or, haven't really been part of that, that American space. I
yeah.
do feel that I'm part of it now. And I think the last thing I want to do is buy a bigger house and have kids, And after that, I can just Yeah, okay, well, then the next step will be 100,000
The
subs
next
and a
step.
million subs, you know? So, but that's part of the
Yeah.
same thing, just increasing it.
What are you at now? 80?
80, yeah,
75?
80, yeah, 80, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
Just it's just a matter of
100,000 is
time.
right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, just a matter of time, right? So I just keep going, and then, but at one point I need more staff to help me out, so I can be more hands off myself, and then just have more free time to do other stuff. Yeah,
I would really advocate that Clips channel.
yeah.
Does Derek do that? Does he
No,
have
he's
a
got everything on one channel also, and he's got multiple editors as well, and
Mhm.
yeah, he's just kind of busy guy. I mean, he's got seven, well, not seven businesses. He's got Merrick Health and an Intelligent Shop and Gorilla Mind, and a couple other affiliates that he has contracts with. So he's just
Yeah,
he's
I was
very high
wondering
level business, right? But a multitude of businesses, and it's
I was
very
wondering when Merrick Health will come here to Canada.
yeah, it's on the to do list. Yeah, how long it will take, it kind of depends on you know the the the
Yeah.
the system over there, which isn't really easy to navigate, from what I understand.
I mean, yeah, when I was a kid, if that with all of the surgeries and everything, the medication that I had, if my
Mm.
parents had to pay for it, I'd be dead for sure.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have existed. So it's great in that aspect.
Mhm.
But then in the other aspects that, like you said, if you have the money, you want that option to be able to
Right.
pay for, a private doctor or private health or something like that.
Yeah, I feel that both should be an option, right? You have basic healthcare for everybody, right? So they can keep themselves healthy, or at least when there's something going on, the healthcare system can be reactive. So in your case, when
Yeah.
you were diagnosed with that cancer, they could help you, right?
Yeah.
But preventatively, if you want to just do blood work or get organ imaging done, just to say, hey, listen, I want ease of mind. I want to check my heart, my liver, my kidneys. Um, I don't feel anything. I'm not in pain. I don't have any issues. The doctor now would say, no, you don't need it. But you might need it 10 years from now. Maybe you can catch something that you don't feel right
Yeah.
now early on. But that's not something that is very known in the Western world. It's all reactive, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah.
It's USA is behind and Canada
Mm.
is even more behind.
Europe also. Europe is the same. It's very, very difficult to get preventative imaging done. And I've done it all here in
So
Thailand.
weird.
Yeah, I spent thousands of dollars out of my own pocket because I can't go to the insurance and say, listen, I did the CT scan for $1,000, reimburse me. So why? So I just wanted to see if my heart was healthy. But why though? Why would you do that? Why are we going to pay for that?
Because things can go wrong.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
because
want to know.
yeah, because yeah. So, but they will never pay for it. But at least if you can pay for it out of pocket, you can here. And many of these other countries that understand that there's a business side to medical field also.
Dubai too, I guess, like you
Yeah,
said.
yeah, and they take foreigners, no problem. So
Yeah, they just want your money. Why
yeah,
not?
just want your money. So you
They're
come here,
offering a service.
yeah, you got your credit
Yeah.
card or your cash ready, then they'll say, yeah, well, whatever you want to do. Depending on which hospital you go to, there might be a waiting list because they might have one CT machine, one MRI machine.
Right. Yeah.
So if you want to come here for medical tourism, I would advise everybody just take a month, and
Yeah.
then you have adequate time to meet the doctor and wait for a time in the CT scan to open up if you want to do a CT scan. But ultrasound you can do on the fly.
That's so cool, man. I
Yeah,
wish we had something like that.
yeah.
When
For,
it comes to
for that you got to.
your kids,
Mhm.
that you'll have in the future, like, would you advocate for them to go on any sort of PED early in their life, or just let them figure it out?
Let them figure it out. I mean, they'll be exposed to it to a certain extent here. Of course, you got to hide it also. At one point, they'll realize that daddy was on YouTube for a while talking about
Yeah.
PEDs. And honestly, if that comes back to bite my kid's life in the ass, because you know how cruel kids are. Right? So if one of the classmates say, "Oh, your dad is talking about steroids on YouTube," and maybe something has changed in the meantime, like we're talking about 15 years later, right? When
Yeah.
kids are like in their teens and they're you know,
Yeah.
very impressionable, then yeah, I might have to wipe the child. If that's for my kids, sure, you know, or maybe I won't be on YouTube by the time. Probably not, but if the
Yeah, maybe
information is
not.
still there, I might have to wipe it to a certain extent. Right? Just to
Maybe you'll create some company or something.
yeah, I'll do something else. Right? The entrepreneurship will still be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they ask for it, about being taller, for example, that I'm short, I want to be taller, then it might be a discussion. But I think, they'll have all the information in the form of me and all the financial means to get good nutrition and go to the gym, and I'll stimulate them to make sure that they're on top of their health from an early age. Not like the cookie cutter lifestyle that we had in the beginning,
Yeah.
all carbs and
Yeah.
processed food in the Western world, and that's how you get
Yeah.
unhealthy. So they'll have
Yeah.
a head start in that sense. And then I
Yeah.
think, if they want to go into the bodybuilding or sports space, then yeah, of course, talk about them openly, but also the risk. And they will do blood work every month, and they'll do organ imaging, and they'll pay for that
Yeah.
themselves. Daddy's not going to pay for it. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't have money. Okay, you better get a fucking job.
Get a job. Well, like,
Better
easy.
go get a job, or
Yeah, but
start.
then they're gonna be like, "But daddy, I want to be a YouTuber."
But that's fine.
Well,
That's a job too. I mean, it's
okay.
more of a
Yeah.
job than working for somebody else.
Yeah, but you know how everyone thinks a YouTuber is just whatever, if you play video games, I'll just go play video games or whatever.
It's not that easy, but of
It's,
course they'll figure it out. And if they have to worry about their other peers saying, "Ah, you're a YouTuber," I just give it 2 or 3 years, and then
whatever.
all those guys, you'll meet them at the reunion. Like, what? How much are you making?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Right. So it's. What about you? You thinking about kids at one point?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a dad so badly.
Oh
It's
yeah.
strange.
That's
Yeah, yeah,
funny.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I've always wanted to
Oh,
be a dad.
cool.
Um, just I really want to enjoy my life right now,
Yeah.
because I know kids require so much attention and
Mhm.
love, and I want to be able to give that, but right now I want to be selfish.
Yeah. Well, you should. You're not. If you take care of your health, you
Yeah.
can have kids until you're 40. What
Yeah.
normal people will say? No, you can't wait that long. But if you have the financial means to keep yourself healthy and do a fertility protocol, then it's not really an issue. I think. When you're 40 or 45 years old. You know.
No, I don't think it'll be a problem. So, I mean,
No.
I'm down to have kids by then. It'd be
Hmm.
great.
So what do you want to accomplish before you have kids? Like, what do
Oh,
you?
dude, so much stuff.
Yeah.
So much. Yeah, I
Let us
mean,
know.
I'd love I'd love to keep growing my channel, of
Mhm.
course. But and finish the Vader series that I want to
Right.
do, the fan film stuff. But I also want to make my own stories,
Hmm.
like books, like Harry Potter books.
Right.
So I
Hmm.
have like different stories and ideas of things that I want to do. But also in addition to that, comic books. And on
Ah.
top of that, I started selling sabers, creating my own
Right. I saw
sabers.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Limited editions, all of them. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
super cool.
So I really have always been entranced with the Star Wars lightsabers.
Mhm.
And so making, my own saber is really something that
It's a
I
rite
find
of
really
pa
rewarding
I
and
think it's a
cool.
rite of
Yeah.
passage, dude. Like, for the
Yeah,
Star
right?
Wars space, I mean, you get it exposed to that in the form of, Luke Skywalker building his own lightsaber.
Yeah, it's just cool, and you come up with different designs, and you
Mhm.
make different characters and stuff like for these sabers and you get to write the story for it.
Right.
I just think it's really fun, and there's the business aspect of it too,
Mhm.
which I really I love. So it's just like combining so many different worlds that I'd love to, grow that business too.
Right, right. And then
But mainly the
eventually,
stories.
you'll probably have your own booth then at Star Wars Celebration at one point.
No, man, they hate me. What do you mean?
Oh, really? Why they
Yeah, they
hate
don't
you?
like.
Why
Yeah,
why
they don't
not?
like. Yeah,
Right.
Disney and them, they don't like me.
Yeah, but they bullied you a little bit, right? For that
A little, yeah, yeah, back
Mandalorian.
then.
That was fucking disgusting. I completely
Yeah.
relate it because I was watching that with the same tears in my eyes, dude.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, they blacklisted me. I know a bunch of guys that wanted to work with me, like big companies,
Uh-huh.
and they were like, they were like, we don't know what happened. We asked Disney, and they don't want to work with you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I don't know. I know another guy, one of my close buddies,
Mhm.
and he knows this dude that actually handles the whole blacklist. Apparently,
Uh-huh.
from what he told me. And he's like, "Oh, is Star Wars Theory on that list?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course." So I'm like, "Yeah, that's okay."
That means you're doing something right.
Um, yeah. I mean, I just feel like I'm pretty outspoken,
Mhm.
so I'm not gonna like everything they make. And at the end of the day, I'm really loyal to George Lucas and what he
Mhm.
made.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like if that pisses them off, and I don't, that doesn't get me a free movie ticket or early access or whatever, that's
Yeah,
okay.
whatever, whatever.
I'll buy it like everyone else.
Yeah.
I'll wait until it releases like everyone else.
Exactly.
But yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, no,
That's
I'll
funny.
never have a booth
Oh, wow. Fuck, man, I didn't know.
there.
So you're the true people's champ then, huh? You got, I mean, your following is bigger than most of what Disney puts out themselves on this platform, and they,
Yeah, I mean that's actually my short-term goal is to overtake in subs their YouTube channel.
there you go. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
don't piss off, don't piss us off. You know, don't piss
Yeah.
off the fans.
Yeah.
It could come back to
Yeah.
bite you. Yeah, then maybe at one point you can buy Star Wars Celebration.
Oh my god, no. I mean, look, if I get to the point where I have like whatever Star Wars is worth and I can easily buy it,
Uh-huh.
I would love to buy it.
Would you
I
get
would love
George
to
Lucas
purchase it.
on as an advisor?
Oh, I mean, whatever George wants to do, but I don't
Yeah.
even know if he wants to be part of it anymore.
Well, after what it's turned into, maybe not.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
I know people who know him
Mhm.
and they say that he's not too happy with
Uh,
the stuff that's been coming, like the sequel trilogy stuff.
No, I can imagine. Like the first one, episode 7 was a good start, but then 8 and 9, oh man.
Well, he even had his candid opinions about 7, and he
Yeah.
was talking about how it was
Mhm.
like a rehash of what he's done, and it
Mhm.
wasn't really new or refreshing. And then, I mean, episode 8 and 9, he wasn't even at the premiere. So,
No. I can imagine. Yeah, when it's your baby and you hand it off for what, 4 billion?
yeah, 4 billion and
Yeah.
like stock options and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Right. And then you see it turn
I
into
mean,
that, just goes into fucking, yeah, it's
yeah, and it's you know a lot of people like it and enjoy it, and that's good. I'm
Mhm.
happy for them, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that don't, and so it's you kind of have to find this like happy medium of like just pick and choose the stuff that you do enjoy from Star Wars that they make, and the rest of it you kind of go, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Right. And there's so much material that you can basically pick and choose what is actually
Yeah,
good.
and
And
that's the good thing.
yeah,
So
you still have to sift through the bad stuff a little bit. Like, do you still
yeah, a little.
do you
Yeah.
cover, like, on your channel, do you cover stuff that you don't really wanna cover, but you know that general population, like the general Star Wars fans want to see it?
No, I stopped.
Yeah.
I stopped.
It
I
hurts,
was
right?
covering, yeah, like I was covering the comics,
Mhm.
adamantly, religiously, the Vader comics, and then it started going in the direction I was like, that doesn't really make sense. And then it
Mhm.
just became kind of weird and diluted, and they were pushing agendas and this and that. And I'm like,
Mm.
okay, well, this doesn't really feel authentic anymore.
Right.
So I stopped covering the comics, and then the movies did their own thing where they veered off a path. So, then there's these High Republic books that came out, and I tried reading it, but it was very boring for me,
Mhm.
and maybe, I didn't give it the proper chance, but yeah, I just kind of there's stuff I just don't cover that I know would, of course, be interesting for a lot of people, who do wanna know what I think about it or have it explained or something in my
Right.
way. I just can't seem to,
Get
do
into
that.
it, huh? Yeah, you can't get
No,
it.
man.
What I
Yeah.
think is, like, Star Wars needs some new blood, but new blood from people that have been in the space for most of their lives, like guys like you. You're very familiar with the lore, and you know exactly what the fans would like to see because you're a fan yourself, but you're
Yeah.
also smart enough to understand the overlying complications of small changes, what, down the line, like story-wise. So,
Yeah.
but I never understood, like, companies like Disney or Nintendo or whatever, they don't just get a group of like super fans together for as lore management managers and just run all the ideas past them just to make sure that it's still authentic within the universe that they built early on. But they always want to design narratives and just change it, and it's weird though, you know.
That can be dangerous too, is if you have a whole
Mm,
bunch of super fans, because then you'll create a story that is just sort of fan servicey, which is cool, but in
mm,
overall aspect of evolving the characters and stories, I feel like is kind of meh, unnecessary,
yeah,
too much, too video game like.
could
So
be.
there's
Yeah.
I feel like there's like a happy medium, right?
Mm,
But what they're doing is they're going completely the other way, where they're just in my opinion, tarnishing the legacy characters that George created,
yeah.
and now kind of using their own new characters to shine,
Hmm.
taking the spotlight and putting it on them instead of passing the torch more respectfully or something.
Yeah, I would have liked to
So
see that with 7, 8, and 9, but it
yeah,
turned
me
into
too.
something completely different.
Well, yeah, no, there was just no planning. Like the directors weren't really communicating with each other, from
Mm,
what we hear.
yeah.
Daisy Ridley, who played Ray, she didn't even know who Ray was until near the end of the ninth film.
Right. Yeah, but I think they
She's like,
arbitrarily changed that, it did many,
they
many
keep
times.
changing shit.
Yeah.
They keep changing shit, and it's like, well, you have, the sequel trilogy, which is the most important thing. Don't you think there should be an overall outline?
Right. And the books, there are several books that cover those episodes, right? Or potentially,
Yeah.
but they got retconned. But I think those stories are way better.
Which ones? The Heir
The,
to the Empire and stuff like that?
yeah.
Like the yeah, so the books that came out while George was in charge,
Mhm.
and owned Lucasfilm were just so much better of
Mm.
stories, which I think is where they're going now because they
Right.
have this massive, like, 30-year gap between
Right.
episode 6 and 7,
Hmm.
so they can cover this whole myriad of different stories
Right.
in there. So that's good. You got a
Yeah.
big gap in there where you can fill it up,
Kind of
but
what they did with Rebels and Clone Wars. What
yeah,
was it?
Clone Wars and
Yeah.
all that stuff, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. Because
which
that's
only
that
added to the lore. It was
exactly.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. And the people love those. Love those
Oh,
series.
dude, so fun,
Yeah.
so
So
fun. So, and then now they got Thrawn coming in.
yeah,
So,
that should be
and
exciting. Yeah.
he's like Spock. He's like the Spock
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what they're
So,
gonna do with Ahsoka. That's coming out pretty soon, right?
oh, it's gonna be badass because it's
Yeah.
Dave Filoni. He's
All
like the
right.
mega
Yeah.
fan,
Yeah.
and he was trained by George. So,
Should be good. Fingers crossed.
fingers crossed, man.
Fingers
I'm
crossed
hoping
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be,
okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Besides Star Wars, like you play some video games like Dragon Ball Z, you watch that and
I love Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I play video games. I love movies.
Mhm.
Really enjoy watching movies. I like playing video games like story games, like God of War.
Right. Yeah.
The new Jedi Survivor game that just came out. Really enjoyed that one as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I really like a lot of story games
Good.
and some Call of Duty and stuff too here and there. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, that's still
yeah. Other
fun.
than that, yeah, it is still fun just hanging out with friends or playing video games.
Mhm.
Beyond that, I don't really go out much. I'm really introverted,
Mm.
so
Come to
I just
Thailand. They
kind of
will they
stay.
will fix you in a month. You have no
Really?
choice. Yeah, I was very introverted as well. I was like staying at home all the time playing video games when I was in Holland. So that's age 23, 24 years old. And then I came
Yeah.
to Thailand and it's just nonstop going out and meeting people and people are so outgoing and friendly and talkative. So you'll get over that roadblock in a month because you'll
You
have
don't
no
have that in
choice.
Vancouver.
No, you don't
Does
have it in
does
Holland either. So you have to
does
get out.
Derek ever talk about that? Like the people
Yes.
here are just
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah,
you're very selective on who you keep in your circle. And of course you have to do that everywhere because not everybody's a good person. But you have
yeah,
to, if you want to be outgoing and talkative, then Thailand or some of the Asian countries, it's just nonstop. So within a month or two, you're just completely over that introvertedness and you're the most outgoing guy ever. 'Cause I came here the same way, and I can talk with everybody. Like when I went to the
yeah,
Olympia, people are like, "Dude, you're such a natural about talking with people." And I was like, "Well,
yeah,
10 years ago, I was like this. 15 years ago, but you just
yeah.
need exposure therapy, sort of say."
Well, it's weird, like, it switches on if I'm at a convention or something because
Hmm.
I'm with like, it feels like I'm with, like, close friends because we all like Star Wars
Right.
and
Right.
everyone's nice.
Hmm.
But I don't know, out in the world, I kind of feel just, like I don't really belong. Like, I just feel different.
Yeah.
Just the way I think and just, you know, I don't know,
Good.
introverted a little bit.
Yeah. Go to a place where there's a lot of expats, like Dubai, Thailand. Yeah, because everybody's in the same boat, right? Constantly, we're all
Yeah,
foreigners, and we're all trying
yeah,
to better our lives to a certain extent. And, most of us that end up staying in Dubai or Thailand or whatever, they're all about the business because you need money to stay abroad, obviously. And
mhm,
they get some very interesting ideas that you can learn from. And then, I met so many cool expats living here. Some of them do, you know, poker online. Some of them have YouTube channels. A good friend
huh.
of mine has a long play channel for all the video games from like Nintendo 64. They got 600,000 subs.
Cool.
Yeah, there's so many guys. They don't even show their face, so you have no idea what they look like. And then you
Yeah,
meet
yeah,
them,
yeah, yeah.
and you're like, "I have a YouTube channel too." I said, "What? Long play archive." I'm like, "Are you the one with 600,000?" Yeah, we got like a backlog of like 3,000 videos of all the games on GameCube and Nintendo 64 and Super Nintendo and PlayStation. And you're like, "Oh, this is another guy with a
Yeah, and he
huge."
just, like, runs through it.
He just run through it, yeah, and he has like a
Yeah,
huge empire. And there's so many guys like that here. You know, that's why I like to be here because there's so many like-minded people. And you meet them everywhere at the gym, at the cigar lounge, you living it up a little bit.
yeah,
And so that's why I like it here because like all the misfits left the
yeah,
Western world and ended up in Thailand because you can live a little bit more freely. And then we're all a
Oh,
bunch of
that's cool.
misfits living together, realizing that we're not the misfits. Everybody else are the misfits.
Then yeah, we all get along.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool way of thinking of it. I never really thought of it
exactly.
like that.
Yeah. And you meet these same people in Bali, you'll meet them in Tokyo. You know, you meet a couple of guys that have been there. They're part of the wallpaper for like a decade. And
Yeah.
then those guys know everything about local, local life.
Yeah, like I feel like I just connect with I definitely connect with YouTubers because I feel like no one really
Mhm.
understands what we have to do or what we go through.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a different life. It's a
it is,
different life,
dude.
you know?
It's so different, man.
And it's
And
a
it's just
roller
like,
coaster also sometimes, because
oh my God.
you produce a video, the response sometimes you're like, "Man, what did I do?" You know?
Oh, bro, Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's the worst. I'm surprised you went back there.
Yeah, I went back. I'm having a ball. I'm having a ball. I'm having
Really?
a good time just trolling. Yeah, just
Yeah, yeah,
trolling.
you gotta
I just
troll. Yeah, you can
I
only
just
be the
troll the people who troll me, and
yeah.
they get so enraged. And sometimes I'll say things to just I'm like, I know you're gonna hate this. I'm just gonna,
That's what it's there
but
for. Reddit and Twitter is just a major place to troll and, look at it, do the kind of stuff.
yeah, and it's just yeah, or like even comments on YouTube and stuff. It builds the thickest skin.
Yeah, true,
I'm sure
true.
you probably get your fair share of
Oh, man.
stupid comments.
Oh, man. It's wild. But I have no tolerance rule, so one shitty comment and you're blocked. It's that simple, you know?
I just blocked my first person today on Twitter.
First, on Twitter, but what about on
First,
YouTube?
yeah. Yeah, there'll be people I'll
Yeah,
hide their channels. Yeah, for sure, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
They say
that's
weird stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I posted a photo of me and my girlfriend, and
Mhm.
there was some like weird comments. So I'm like, ah, block. Like you
Yeah.
can come after me, but don't come
No,
after family.
not family, no family.
No, yeah. So block. Yeah.
No, that's it, in real life, they
Yes.
wouldn't do that. Like, so that's what I realized, like, you heard about the Liver King debacle, right? I'm sure
Of
you yeah,
course.
okay, so
Yeah, dude. I didn't know
so
if you want to talk
yeah,
about it
I
or
can
not. I
talk
just
about it, yeah, with you, okay. So this documentary of Derek came out, right? 2 weeks before
yeah.
I went to the United States. You should have seen my comment section, like the most death threats and worst words ever, right? All these
Really?
Liver King supporters. Yeah, people thought he was natural and should have outed him, or it shouldn't have leaked any information. So, they got their hearts broken. It wasn't my fault, it was his fault for leading on. Anyway, so I went to the United States and went to the Mr. Olympia, and then everybody said, "Thanks so much." Right? For exposing this nonsense because everybody was sick of it. So you have this online group of people that hate, and then the real world, or at least in our fitness industry, that appreciated it. So that's
Mhm.
that's why I realized there's such a big discrepancy between what people say in the comment section, and they could have easily shown up at the Mr. Olympia. Maybe they were there, but they didn't have the balls to say anything. There was only one guy that said
No.
something. It was Jose Raymond, but he also understood why it had to happen.
Who's Jose Raymond?
Another bodybuilder. We
Oh,
were we
okay.
were blastingly drunk at an after party, so
Oh.
we were blastingly drunk. Yeah,
Uh,
I love you, Jose. He
dude.
was a good guy, but he was the only one who actually said something about it. Like maybe it was not the right approach. And then I explained it and
Uh,
said, "Listen, I didn't coach the guy. It was 2 or 3 weeks, and then I had to let him go because he was so full of it." And then he understood a little bit better.
yeah.
But it's yeah. So
You know,
after
I
after that, I realized that the comment section are just the comments. It's just a diary for people to vent sometimes, and then the
it
real
is,
world
yeah.
is what I go by. So,
It is. It totally is a diary for people to vent. I mean,
mm,
people have shitty days and they just and
yeah,
then and they
yeah,
feel a little bit better and then they
exactly.
whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
it
Oh,
is what it is. But yeah, I mean with Liver King, I enjoyed his content and I knew he was
mm,
I mean, I know,
yeah.
right? Like
Everybody
I
knows.
100% everyone knows, but like the people who get duped with him are probably clinging to some certain level of hope that like this is
Mm,
achievable naturally and bro, I wish it was.
yeah.
I
Unfortunately, no.
wish it was. Like,
Yeah.
I don't that'd be great.
Uh,
But maybe one day there will be some sort of a
I mean, there's a
I don't
couple of
know.
natural freaks out there, which I'm sure that they're drug free, and they look very, very good in their, certain poses and certain lighting pictures on
Yeah.
Instagram. Never see a video because then it would defeat would
No. No.
defeat the illusion. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but this guy was literally going after people for taking steroids, right? I'm fine if you want to say that you're natural or just claim TRT, but if you say that people on steroids are subprimal and they're pathetic
Shut the
and
fuck.
you don't need to do blood work, I'm like, dude, I've worked so hard this last couple of years just to improve the fitness industry, which I think I did, and then you come around try to undo all of that stuff, make us all look like fools. Come on, you
Yeah,
know, you know.
yeah. No,
So it's
I
like
was
if you
just
were to say that the episode 1 to 6 doesn't exist and there's only episode 7, 8, and 9.
well, I say the inverse basically.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah, but but
So, I
that's what
mean,
he was doing also, right? He would
yeah,
say something. Yeah, the
yeah. I
steroids are bad, and I definitely don't take them. But people are still following him. Actually, his social media presence went up after this. So
of
there's
course,
there's
yeah.
more people who want to be fooled.
There's no bad publicity.
Yeah, that's what I
There's
realized.
no bad publicity ever.
Yeah,
And so, it's I mean, you and Derek basically did a massive marketing job for him.
yeah,
You know, like for free.
yeah.
I
Basically,
wonder if
yeah.
he took a hit or not with his supplement
I
company,
think he
but
did, to a certain extent, but
yeah,
eventually,
but he's
obviously,
probably
people forget, and you can always scroll back from it. And he had a couple
yeah,
lawsuits, I think, which were settled out of court. So whatever that is, it probably means he paid off to make it go away. But yeah, I hope he learned his lesson that you can't be so disingenuous to. But I don't think so because now he claims he's natural, and I don't think so. I don't think so.
yeah, dude, I've seen the skits where he like pretends to be like going up to literally like the hostess at some restaurant being like, "Hey, I'm not just to let you know I'm natural." It's like, dude, relax.
Yeah,
Like nobody honestly gives a shit.
no,
Nobody cares. Like we can all like I don't care if you're on juice or you're not. Just
mm,
be honest. Be honest about stuff. Like we
exactly.
can all tell if you're
Yeah,
on crap or not.
even the
It
kids
doesn't
can
take a
tell, because
genius.
even the kids, the 13 to 15-year-old kids that follow all the other Instagram, fitness
Yeah.
channels, they know also. So,
Yeah, I mean, you got guys that are like transparent, like Larry Wheels, and then
mhm,
you got this dude who like looks somewhat similar, maybe
yeah,
but and he's like, "No, I'm natural."
he would be a
Uh,
good wrestler though. Like the Liver King would be like a perfect wrestling character, and there he would be allowed to say that you're natural because that's what the WWE is all about.
dude, he is a wrestling
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
He literally lives as a wrestling like his whole like personality, and I loved watching him. It was so entertaining.
Oh man, it made me
It was so
cringe, dude. It
entertaining.
made me so cringe. Like because I knew
Yeah,
the
but
story, right? I knew the blood work and what he was doing.
yeah,
I'm like, and I let it go for 1.5 years, dude. Let it go on for 1.5 years.
and he didn't like sign anything or anything, right? It
No,
was just so yeah,
no. So keep it quiet. So I would have if you're not turning into such a total dickhead.
yeah. No, I couldn't
Plus, there
believe the
was so
claims
much
he was
more
making.
compelling evidence that didn't even make the documentary. The whole thing that Derek released was just an opportunity for him to come clean, which he did to a certain extent, but not really.
Yeah, I saw the
So,
video. Guys, I fucked up,
yeah,
and it's
I was
like
rich and I'm still rich. You know, yeah.
he said that.
Yeah. So I was rich before social media, and now I'm still rich, but I'm known. I'm like, okay, dude, that's great.
Okay.
That's
Well,
great.
yeah, I mean, you could have been just as
Nobody
great if you
cares.
just yeah, maybe if you just never even talked about it.
Yeah,
Like, but when you start to go after people being like, "Oh, people who are enhanced or this and this or I'm natural or and then selling your whole business model
yeah.
for
On
people to
based on
buy
that.
into,
Yeah, based on that.
which is I think the most disingenuous thing is
Absolutely. Yeah. You can look like me if you just use these supplements.
no, dude, that's literally the supplement industry,
Yeah,
man.
I know, and I thought we were over that, after Muscle Tech and all these weird '90s ads, but I guess not.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, dude.
so
Yeah.
it's still going on to this day, and yeah, it's very unfortunate that these bad actors are still present, and general population allows them to. Like what I learned from this period is that general population doesn't care, and they'll forgive everybody,
No,
even if they get lied to continuously. It's
no.
like
Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome. It's like
Oh, and
you get
yeah.
abused, abused, and abused, and now you're so used to it that you don't know anything but the abuse. And when the abuse goes away, you're like you don't know what's going on.
Well, I mean, look what happened with Logan Paul, man. Like,
Yeah.
I remember when that video came out. I remember where I was. I was sitting on my couch late at night, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"No way, he just put this in the thumbnail." I'm like, "Doesn't this go against like YouTube's
Yeah.
like terms of service or something?" And I'm watching the video, and I'm like, I didn't even cringe. I just felt like uncomfortable. Like, this
Yeah.
is like, what am I watching? Like, this is weird. This is really weird.
Hmm.
And then, but, you know, I do also believe in character development in,
Hmm.
fiction and nonfiction. So I do
Right.
believe that people can change, just like, Vader and Anakin did and all that.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
there are some things that are,
Unredeemable.
yeah,
That's close to unredeemable. Some people.
pretty, like, yeah, like as a person, you're just like, how do you even go about doing something like this? Like, I don't
I
know.
couldn't imagine. No, I couldn't imagine. I've been super transparent about everything that I do with my own body, and I recommend to people. And I
Yeah,
think people appreciate me for that for the long haul.
yeah,
Because I like to be
of
part
course.
of the fitness industry for decades. Not just a quick 5 year to make a buck like so many people do. They go in 5 years, they grind their socks off, they get exposed, and then they disappear again with a boatload of money. But nobody will remember you in a good sense that way. You know,
No, no, no. I don't like fake natties. I
no,
don't like them.
no.
Like, I could I made a video talking about how I'm on 150 milligrams of
Mhm.
TRT, and, like, no one would even know. No, like, I don't even look like I'm on anything. So,
No, I can
but I
tell.
just feel like
I can tell.
transparency.
I remember when you reached out. I'm like, I know something's going on.
Uh,
I can tell. I can tell. But I've
Yeah.
been in this space for such a long time, and I've helped hundreds of guys with their TRT. So, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, most guys wouldn't be able to tell, but I know. I know you're one of us. And there's many YouTubers out there who
Yeah.
don't talk about their TRT, but they're actually on.
I know, bro. I know. I know. And I know you know who
I
I
know.
think,
Yeah,
we're both thinking
there's
about, yeah.
many guys out
There's a
there.
lot, yeah,
Yeah,
and it's just like, come on, whatever. It's life. We're all gonna die one day. We're all
yeah.
gonna croak. Everyone watching this video, everyone, like, not to get morose, but it's real. Like, we're all
Mm,
gonna eventually go and pass, and so we're here for a finite amount of time.
right.
And if some people choose to enhance themselves, cool, more power to you. We're all
Yeah,
just learning and
not hurting
experiencing.
anybody unless you lie about it. Then you actually hurt somebody.
Yeah, unless I say, hey, here are the 9 ancestral tenants, and
Yeah,
this is how you can do it, and you look like me
yeah,
naturally.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good luck.
bullshit.
Good luck with that.
No way, man.
Yeah, good luck with that.
No. Just be honest, that's all.
Yeah.
And I think that's one reason why you're so successful is because you are so honest in a world of dishonesty.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really it's very
Somebody
refreshing.
has to do it, right? I mean, there's more people like me that are super transparent about what they're doing, but not many are transparent while simultaneously educate. And it's easy to
Yeah,
say, I take a gram of Tren, right? That's easy to say. Everybody can say that.
yeah,
But it's
yeah,
not easy to understand or explain why it's a bad idea,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, exactly.
in great depth.
Yeah. No, I know, and that's the thing, like, there's a lot of young, impressionable kids out there
Oh,
who
man.
think, like, "Oh, I'll just blast this and that," before even, like, their whole endocrine system can form,
Hmm.
like, can, like, evolve, it's I'm like, "You're destroying yourself."
Yeah. No, I know. I
It's
mean,
unbelievable,
and,
and
and dude, like you had low testosterone levels and you still benched and squatted and deadlifted like good amounts. So,
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it was like, um, my whole life, but the
mm,
weird I don't understand, I was extremely, extremely, had a high sex drive.
mhm.
So, I don't know if and I went bald young, so I don't know if it all got converted to, like, with DHT
Could
or
be.
or
Yeah, it
or
could be. Some
or
people are hyper converters. Yeah. And they got a lot of energetic burden. And people say the DHT doesn't do anything, but I don't believe it. DHT is very
I think
beneficial.
it's more androgenic,
Yeah.
than, from what I've read,
You see
but,
a lot of
you
guys
tell
that go
me.
bald young, they have high sex drive and they develop nice thick beards, and they
Yeah,
turn themselves into
yeah.
kratos and they get the similar power level up.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And then they get laid early on also. 15 years old, they already got a thick beard and they get
Is
laid
there
because
such
of
a
it.
thing as, like, a second puberty for men?
I believe that, you have your first puberty 15 or 13 or 15, right? And
Yeah,
then at 21, your bone structure starts to change. 21, 22, 23. So you get a little bit wider in the shoulders and the cranial changes might occur. And I believe you're still susceptible to permanent changes if you take steroids and growth hormone at that age. Because you see that the teen bodybuilders that took steroids at 18, 19, 20, 24, right? That age range. When
yeah,
they come off, they retire, their face still looks like a 40-year-old
right.
because it was developed on the time that their bone structure was susceptible to these high androgen burdens. And it's
Right.
not that they grow taller, but they grow wider, if that makes
Right.
sense. So,
Yeah.
and I noticed for me, like I started when I was 26. So when I come off cycle, my face is still pretty slim. But when I'm on, dude, I got a you know, huge
A
face
moon.
also. Yeah, moon. Yeah, like androgen
That's no
Batman.
moon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not true.
Do you think Tess like, 'cause I've maybe it's just maturing, but I've noticed since I was 30 and then I'm 33 now,
Mhm.
that being on well, almost 31 when I started,
Yeah,
being on test, just a little bit of it, like, when I get leaner, my facial structure seems more masculine than
yeah.
just a few years ago.
Mhm.
Like, the jaw and my overall bones of everywhere
Correct.
just feel, more dense.
Yeah, the bones are you get
Is
increased bone mineral density, but also more muscle, right? In the face, there's a decent amount of muscle, so this stuff all gets more
Mhm.
pronounced in the jaw here and here at the cranium. It's all hypertrophies a little bit, gets a little bit of muscle growth, and that's where you
Interesting,
get the
yeah.
masculinity from. Yeah, the Neanderthal look. That's
Yeah.
and then the weird thing is like all men they think like, oh, I'm super masculine now, I'm gonna get laid, and all the women are like, it's too much.
No, they want the yeah,
Yeah, they
they
want
want
this
the
soft spoken hand
Justin Biebers,
yeah, the
yeah.
hand bag carrying
Yeah, like the
males.
pretty boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily in Asia that's not the case. They still want
No, they want masculine
yeah, they want
yeah, like,
masculine women.
Latin women want
Yeah.
masculine men, and then
South
some of the,
American
like,
stuff, yeah.
Italian women.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So anywhere
yeah,
hot, like anywhere in the middle of the world where it's hot, that's
yeah,
kinda like the place to be, you know?
yeah,
You reveal a little bit, you wear nice clothes, like, permeable by the air, and then you show off your guns and your masculinity.
yeah,
You get appreciated for it. But I know the last time I went to Holland, it was in summer, and then you walk around there, masculine, and then people are
yeah.
like, "What is this?"
Yeah, I
That's
don't think they're into that as much over
no,
there.
unfortunately,
No.
no, no. The bodybuilding community there is very small. In Germany, it's quite big, but
Yeah,
Holland, it's almost non-existent.
Germany, it's huge, led by Marcus Rule.
Yeah, yeah. And you got
Yeah.
the miracle bear now, Urs Kalecinski. He's
What's this?
Urs Kalecinski is the classic physique. He's a pro. He's third in the world, also
Oh,
from
is he?
Germany. Yeah, he's got some USSR genetics in him also.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
So he plays third so what he competes with Chris Bumstead?
yeah. He was third to Chris Bumstead. You have Ramon Dino second,
Yeah,
and then
right.
Urs
The one
Kalecinski
yeah.
third. Yeah, so funny. I met him at
Oh,
the Mr.
cool.
Olympia. It's like, hey, Steve. I'm like, oh god. I guess
Who,
everybody's
Chris?
yeah. And Urs, Chris, I didn't meet, but Urs I met. He's
Oh,
like, hey,
okay.
Steve. And then
Yeah.
I realized, like, wait, he's watching me also.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it's it's
funny.
it's it's crazy,
And I told him,
the
said,
amount
"Hey,
of
good
people.
luck because I need you in the top 3, A guy like you deserves to be in the
Yeah.
top 3." And he plays top 3, so it was good to see. Yeah.
Do you think, Chris is gonna keep winning?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was gonna retire this year. Like, everybody expected him to retire on top with 4 wins. But I
Yeah.
think he's got 4 more in him now that he's with, Hani Rambod.
Yeah.
Because
He's gonna
Hani
keep
Rambod
going.
is one of the best coaches out there. He can really dial in his athletes. And he's only got a handful of athletes that he needs to focus on.
Yeah.
So, and he's crazy in his practices, but his practices work clearly. All these guys have a
Yeah.
unique look, to the muscularity and
Yes.
how the fat and the skin lays on it, and it's a very nice look. And he's the only one who can do it. It looks very athletic, but hard and dense at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, like, he's also training the Persian guy, Chupan,
Yeah,
right?
Hari Chupan and Chris
Yeah.
Bumstead, and then he's
Yeah.
got the second place guy as well,
Right.
Chris Lunsford. Yeah,
Yeah.
Derek Lunsford. So, I mean, all these guys look phenomenal. So he's literally got like the top 3 or the top 1 of most of the classes, and he's been doing that for decades. He's one of the best
Yeah.
bodybuilding coaches out there. So now that Chris is with Hani, I think he's got another 4 or 5 years left in him. But at,
Yeah.
at one point, he needs to step back because the prize money of the Classic Olympia is despicable. It's like a couple $1,000s, and he
What?
oh yeah, it's like $25,000 or something or
What
$50,000.
the hell?
Yeah, and
Yeah, but the sponsorships at least,
oh,
hopefully
dude, he's
make their
banking so hard. He means co-owner of Revive, and he's got his YouTube channel. He does like 300 to 500,000 views on each video, so you know what that means.
yeah,
And his Instagram posts always get a million likes. A million likes. So he's all of
it's
his
insane.
affiliates deals. He's making millions. Yeah, I'm sure.
Easy, yeah,
Yeah, easy. Yeah, he's doing
yeah.
very, very
And
well.
his supplement sells out like this
Mhm.
at my gym.
Oh, really?
Literally. Oh, dude, yeah, yeah. Ron carries some of his stuff, and it's gone.
Yeah, I think everything that Derek and Chris Bumstead put their hands on or their name to just sells out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek is the same thing. Every time he releases a new product, it sells out. And I'm like, when are you going to learn how to make bigger batches? I said, but
Enough stock.
that's what we've been doing, like
Yeah.
thousands of units. It sells out.
Hey, what's this Young LA brand? Like, it's popped up in the last year or so, I think, but, like,
Yeah.
who owns this? Because I see, like, Noel, Diesel, I don't know how to
What is
say his
his
name. I
name?
like his stuff.
So he's a guy from LA, California. And he started
Yeah,
a clothing brand. I think he's got some family in India. If I might be mistaken, guys. So, but this from what
yeah,
I remember hearing,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
they do a lot of the manufacturing from him. And he's like part Indian. Again, I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
And I was with them for a couple months, but I couldn't meet the quota for the affiliates, so they let me go. Yeah, fair enough. I'm not
Okay.
really a
Yeah.
clothing, guy anyway.
Right.
I talk
Yeah,
about
you're not a
PEDs.
Gymshark guy.
Yeah, I'm not a Gymshark guy.
Yeah.
So I talk about PEDs, and then Prima Bolin sells out globally because
Yeah. Yeah. You
how
want me
to
you want me to sell syringes? I can do that, no
yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
actually, I'm the reason why Prima Bolin is out of stock now because I always tell people to stick with pharma. Anyway,
Dude, I don't even know what Primobolan or
good. You're
NPP
better
is.
off not knowing.
Yeah. I've heard Ron talk about it
Yeah.
like, but I never grasped, I never remembered.
It's
I'm like,
basically
I don't
like testosterone, but a superior version without the estrogen. So you still need test and primo
s
together.
so why don't I just take that?
We'll talk off air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll talk off air.
Okay.
So these guys, they basically make everything go out of stock, and then they've been with Young LA for a couple of years, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of the more popular clothing brands. They got a nice line, of clothes,
Cool.
and it's nice. They got a good affiliate program in the back end, so a lot of people want to be on board.
Right, yeah.
And that's how they sell out. They got everything's basically limited edition, so they'll make like let's say 10,000 of an item, and when it sells out, it sells out, and then the extra smalls, they're on discount because that's all that's left. And
Wow.
then just cycle through clothes, make it semi-exclusive, create artificial demand, so you have to buy early before it sells
Yeah.
out. That's smart.
Yeah.
You keep too much stock. Once in a while
Yeah.
they'll bring an old batch back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still got some of their clothes that they sent to me for marketing purposes when I was an affiliate, and they're still good. Yeah, I still rock them here and there.
Hmm.
So it's a
Yeah,
good
I see
cool.
some people in the gym wearing them, but I just see everyone advertising for it. I'm like, I thought Derek started this. I thought it was his company.
No, it was one of his friends. That I think they got when Gorilla Mind started and Young LA started. They were both like just getting growing together, and now they're both highly successful.
Cool.
Yeah, highly successful.
Nice.
So that's
I
why I
love
like
hearing
to see
stories like
like
that.
these are all young guys, around 30 years old, 35 years
Yeah.
old that had a passion just like you did, and they just leveled up. I just always felt that I was late to the party. Uh, should have done this
Dude, I
10 years
mean,
ago.
there's no late. You're doing great, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
And
doing
but besides, you started your empire with other stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to do coaching and because that was the avenue that was the most
Well,
lucrative.
the financial whatever you did
Oh,
before.
the financial, yeah, but that was just business consulting. So there's how much money you can make that's limited. Of course, now I invest everything, so that's just on the side, but that's all income coming from here and smart trading back and
Yeah.
forth. So it just basically, there's rules to making money, right? First, you have to keep most of the money that you earn and
Yeah.
learn how to keep it, so no
Yeah.
government takes the large majority away from you. And then you have to put it in a place where it can appreciate, and then or learn how to spend it, and then put it in a place where it can appreciate. So you fight, inflation, denomination, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, pretty hard to do in Canada.
There's ways, yeah, but
Of course.
it might be best to move out, and take a hit,
Yeah, yeah.
take a
So
hit
that
on
saber
your
company
yeah, you
I
know,
was talking about, my partner is in Florida, and we're making the LLC there.
right,
So apparently, according to Florida law, he said I could just buy a house there and live there
yeah,
as
exactly.
long as I want.
And of course you'll have to pay tax if you live in the United States for a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
but you can
Yeah.
circumvent that by living in certain places for not too long, or set up
Yeah.
your tax residency in like Gibraltar or Dubai or wherever else, right? So that's like you've proven to be one of the best, and now you just got to make sure that you got to keep everything that
Maintain
you
that.
maintain it, yeah, and then invest it,
Yeah.
somewhere that's outside of your. field.
Gold.
Yeah.
Gold and silver.
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no. We'll talk off here. Hey, for now, I'm gonna let you go. This was great,
Okay.
man. This was
Yeah, I had
absolutely
a lot of
great.
fun.
Yeah, this was fun for
What
sure.
what are we at? 2 hours, 40 minutes?
2
Dude,
hour,
it flew
40
by.
minutes. Yeah, it flew
It
by
flew by.
for sure.
Yeah.
Where can people
No, I had a
find
lot
you?
of
If
fun.
people don't know about the Darth, where can they
It's
find
Star
you?
Wars Theory on YouTube.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I'll put the
Yeah.
links down below in the description section, guys, so you can follow him there.
Sure, yeah.
And you got a lifting channel as well. I'll link that too.
I got a lifting channel, yeah, strength theory. And just,
The pressure is
starting
on. Now you
slow
got
on
to
that
get
one.
back to a 600-pound deadlift.
Oh, I surpassed that.
Oh,
I
really?
could surpass that. Oh, we could do that, yeah.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Dude, I'm already deadlift like over 500. I mean, I'm not even training. So I think honestly, I think having adequate amounts of test is just all I need.
More test is usually better.
Yeah. Yeah. Next time we do a podcast, I'll be like on 2 grams.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, yeah. Build it up slowly.
Hey,
Yeah, you'll
Steve.
be like
How you do?
you're like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. Me son the Wandumba. Yeah, exactly. Java
Awesome.
probably has high test.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was so
Probably.
sluggish, he just
High
kept it all.
estrogen too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All everything high. Eating bugs. Yeah.
Oily
Yeah.
skin.
Ooh,
Yeah.
scary. Thanks so much for joining in. We'll do this again sometime. This was a lot of
Yeah,
fun, and,
definitely.
we'll talk to you soon. Take care, buddy.
Okay. See you guys.